Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Championship Saturday, Round 11, Season 15 of the Velocity Online Racing Signature Series, the IndyCar Championship, as we come to you tonight from Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the third running of the Velocity Online Racing Las Vegas 400. I am Gary Gatto, and welcome to what should be a pretty exciting race. The two previous races we've had here before have been extremely exciting, but we've only been here two times before, so that's a shame. Joining me in the booth for the first time this season is the general of the production board, Howie Burrows. Howie, welcome. So the first story really is going to come down to the points, and we won't spend an awful lot of time on the points because almost at the drop of the green flag, the points championship will be decided. Liam O'Sullivan enters Vegas with a 47-point lead and controls his own destiny. He really just needs a finish of 22nd or better to lock up the championship regardless of what Julien does. But for Julien, it's simple but extremely brutal. He has to win Vegas, basically win every single bonus point, and hope that Liam has a disastrous start of this race in order for him to even have a shot. And then we open up gray areas for tiebreakers and whatnot. But let's not talk about that necessarily. We really think that this is kind of coming down to Liam to win. It's his race and championship, his championship to win or lose at the start of this race. But the other important story coming into today is a possible triple crown situation for Liam O'Sullivan.
Indeed, welcome along to the finale on the fast and exciting high banks. This is one of the highest speed tracks that iRacing regularly takes. The Indy cars too, and there's plenty of space around with a good setup, plenty of room to move up and down too. Indeed, if Liam O'Sullivan even survives past the first lap and someone wrecks behind him, that's wrapped up. But that isn't going to stop the racing here from being pretty spectacular. I think it usually can produce thrillers, including caution-free races around there. Grid of 23, so 22nd and up is quite the achievement, so to speak. But someone has to finish below. Someone has to do it. Seeing our drivers wrap up their qualifying laps right now. Obviously, you only get two on the road, and they fly by very, very quick. But it's looking not quite like Liam O'Sullivan's. A few drivers standing out in places I don't quite expect. Dan Etcher, a very good qualifying time, and Roden F-Tink so far, fastest.
This is a fun track, and we have more boost has been added to these cars, so they are faster. So Roden F-Tink, a 2:21.7. Primetime John Steller just checked in at a 2:21.666. Liam O'Sullivan provisionally third at a 2:21.5 with 45 seconds left to play. Last season's champion will not be able to back up his championship. He is going to be relegated to about fourth in points, and that is Clindy at 2:21.3, and Saucier in fifth at a 2:21 flat. That is everybody in the 2:21 bracket with about now 30 seconds or less here to play. So we did race here back in season 4, back in 2021. We did a 167 lap, 250 mile race. Cohen Evans beat Julien Altena by 41 thousandths of a second. James Watson in the lineup today finished third in that race, and yours truly finished fourth in that race. We had 6 cautions for 24 laps, 20 cars started, 6 cars on the lead lap, and then we had a caution-free race back here in season 12 in 2024. We did a 500K race, a 312 mile race. Jesper Dahlgren over Craig Forsyth by 91 thousandths of a second, and Clindy finished third in that race. So a number of drivers looking to improve their finishes in previous starts here at Las Vegas in Sin City. So here we're getting ready to start with our starting lineup here tonight at Vegas. Track temperature, a very cool for Vegas, 91 degrees. Ambient temperature, also very cool and mild for Vegas, 88 degrees. But here is today's starting lineup. Roden F-Tink on the pole with a speed of 2:21.7. is going to start from the point. John Stellard is second with a 2:21.6. Liam O'Sullivan looking to clinch the championship as early as possible. He is going to line up third right next to defending series champion Kyle Clinworth, who will pass the number 1 over to O'Sullivan more than likely at the end of this race. That is row 2. Then Saucier and Strauss on row 3. Watson looking to improve his third place finish here from our inaugural race way back in season 4 is on the inside with his teammate Seb Kinder on row 4. Then we got Dan Inch with a great start and Katie Pollock with a great start. in row 5. And if I remember right, Katie Pollock had an excellent race at one of our at Kansas earlier in the season. So watch Katie here on these 1.5-mile cookie cutter racetracks. Then we go back to Vogelzang and Charpentier in row 6. Pim, Van Gastel, and Zombati in row 7. Fiolis and Christensen in 44 Nation in row 8. Vinci and Deck in row 9. Miriani in stock in row 10. And then we got Julien Altena attempting to do what he and I did back in 2021 in season 4, starting from the back right next to the host with the most in the votive series, Shane Coker in row 11. And Dufresne will start in shotgun position back in row 12. And it is entirely possible for those three to fight through the race traffic and battle to the front, because that's exactly where Julien and I started. And also another finisher in the top 6 back in that inaugural race. We started in the last 3 positions and worked our way up into the top 6. So it is entirely possible. We'll watch those drivers as they fight their way through. A very dusty racetrack right now to start off as we're on the pace lap getting ready to go green. Howie, thoughts before we go racing?
A very, very long race to round off the season. 267 laps with a stint of around 50 to 56. If the cautions fall the right time for you, you might be able to turn this into a bit of a fuel race. I believe that was the strategy you employed in the past, as you so told me. So that could be the play, but it's going to be quite unpredictable as ever with a big grid around a high-speed oval like this. What a place to finish the season.
Yeah, we did a lot of fuel saving in the back and caught a caution at the right time. 3-stop window, I don't think anyone could get there. Lap 66, 67. 4-stop window, 53, 54. 5-stop window at 45, 44 laps, somewhere in there. So we will continue to see, but we have gone caution-free before. Getting ready to go green as we see dust kicking up on the racetrack. Green flag getting ready to come out for a 400-mile race to close out season 15 of the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship. Cleanly through 1 and 2, and they're getting in the line. This is going to be a bit of a pack race early here, Howie, until Tire Dag starts getting us in single file. It happened before when we were here, but a pack race early, and we see Liam O'Sullivan going to the point, looking for that bonus point, and he will secure it.
There is just about enough space to fit 3 cars there, but you will be plowing into the wall on the higher side, so reckon we'll see it at some point, but maybe not straight away. Road Nefting, though, riding that high side. It's fast up there already. Small amount of progressive banking, I think, up there is going to lead Efting to the top, and Stellon behind. Liam O'Sullivan now drops to P3, but I think he just wants to ride among the crowd here. The one thing he could do to lose this is make a horrible mistake right now.
Yeah, this is one of those racetracks. Road Nefting goes purple, by the way, 217.3. This is one of those racetracks that if we get into a pack racing situation, he might drive himself in his car into a place he doesn't want to be. So he needs to get his car in a very good and nice, clean slot. And on the 6th of your teammate is a pretty safe place to be. But separating those two, the meat in the Altena Autosport sandwich is primetime John Stellard as he goes to the top side, looking to get the pass. As Seb Kinder goes purple that lap, 2:18.5 as we drag race down the backstretch. We go 3 wide into 3 and 4. Liam O'Sullivan in a little bit of a dangerous spot, goes to the bottom, but gets the point. He had a little bit of a rear tail gunner there with his teammate helping him out, but he gets the lead.
Running very close to Efting. Stallard almost jumped in the gap. Want to keep an eye on Julien, by the way. He's up to P13 already, so definitely easy to make those places up early on in the run. Don't think a driver like Liam has much of a strategy other than just run the track and give and take places that are given to you, really. Everyone's kept it clean for 5 laps on the track so far. There's plenty of space around here to run, and everybody's done a pretty good job of it.
Tink is staying in the tire tracks, well, into the front stretch area in the tri-oval. Now he pops out. Gives a little bit of dirty air now, draft help to primetime John Stellard down the backstretch. Gets Stellard up front. F-Tink goes back down to the bottom, gets behind his teammate. Sets it up for rolling back up to his attenuator. Here comes Matthias Strauss and Seb Kinder and the Team Watson Racing entries.
Still a couple setting it free just a bit, but O'Sullivan now takes the lead. But as you mentioned, it's going to be hard to pull away for quite some time, I think, during the run. Going to get good enough draft down the straight that you're going to be able to hang with pretty much anyone within a 10th and a half unless you're pulling unbelievable laps that might be shredding your tires, which can be a factor here. You really can brutalize the right front of Las Vegas. You really can just push just a bit too hard and start to understeer throughout the run. A little bit of a blink out, I believe, from Strauss. Gonna have to make sure not to do that in a dangerous time, but we're getting away with it for now. However, back in the field, Clenworth dropped down to 7th on the road, just running his own race, and Altena still in 13th.
Altena is 13th, up 8. Miriani in 9th. Let's give Miriani a shout out. Up 10 spots already in the early stages of this race.
Okay, so for the
Riding
record,
with Julien.
And I can't explain
Go
this. Julien Altena on his overlay is showing us Ronan Eftink. So you're going to have to notice the 2 Eftinks here. We have the 18, that's Ronan Eftink. And in the 11, that is not Ronan Eftink. I can't fix this now. It is how it is.
Julien in the lineup.
I'll find a way to fix that when we have a second, but we got a lot of racing to do up until then.
Vinci around Fiolis. There's for 16th. Still a lot of wheel-to-wheel action, a little bit further on back. Of course, you know IndyCar has raced here in the past. It's officially raced at Las Vegas 7 times. First in the Indy Racing League from 96 to 2000, and kart in 2004, 2005, and finally the ill-fated race in 2011. Vegas has been a site of the final race of the Indy Racing League season 3 times, just like it is here today, and it has been part of the final race of the season here in Velocity Online Racing on a number of occasions as well, including this season. The track record set here by Arie Luyendyk on the old flat configuration back when they were still flying and driving the flying darts at 226.4 when Arie did a qualification run here in that 96 race. We was driving a 95 Renard Ford Firestone. The current configuration is held by Tony Kanaan in 2011 when we did have official qualification session then at 225 or 222.0. The kart track record is Patrick Carpentier in 2004 when they had a very, let's say, downforce heavy car at its speed of 206.1. The career wins leaders here, Seb Bourdais got 2 wins in those 2 kart races. And our good friend for the Lionheart Series, Richie Hearn, got his 1 and only IndyCar win here. Eliseo Salazar got his 1 and only IndyCar win here. Sam Schmidt got his 1 and only IndyCar win here, along with Allenser Jr. and also Arie Luyendyk when IndyCar did race here last. Lap 14 of 267, still clean and green, Howie.
I'm multitasking, trying to bring Julien Altena back from the dead right now on the track.
He's going into the CSV file. I will cover you. I know what that's like. Liam O'Sullivan to the bottom of the racetrack. Ronan Eftink stays high, giving his teammate a lot of room, and maybe even extra room on this championship clinching race. Julien Altena, we see him just now on the outside of the top 10, peeking into the picture. He is in 11th. We're watching this battle right here with Seb Kinder and Strauss and Stellard.
He's still Eftink on this. Okay, I don't know what's happened on this end. You're doing a great job covering. You're doing a great job covering today. Okay, hang in there.
Saucy to the inside. Nope, he gets back in line with John Stellard as we are now getting well into this first stint. And remember, we said that the windows are what the windows are going to be, and they are quickly getting into the early. If someone wants to maybe do a 6-stop, we're about halfway through that stint. A 5-stop is lap 44, so we're about almost halfway through a 1 for that 4-stop strategy. If someone wants to try to execute it.
Been pretty clean and green, though, up at the front still. I think it's mostly a trading back between the rear Eftink. Oh, no!
Oh, and there's a caution.
What do we say? Oh, brutal in the back.
And it's a biggie. It's a biggie. We have 3 cars involved. Toby Deck, Charpentier, and Shane Coker at lap 18.
Should be able to get this one running just in time, thankfully.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on all the details of that here as we run actually through the replay. So Charpentier, Deck, Coker, and Watson all caught up.
Oh God!
That's the contact. That is a horrific hit.
Look at the barrel roll.
Oh. Gonna need to. Who got
and
the
there was
worst
a little
barrel
bit
roll out on the track? I mean, I know that.
No kidding.
Deck went hard into the wall here.
A little bit of netcode contact, and then he caught it, and then he just goes feet first into the wall. That would have been a brutal real-world hit, really.
Few other drivers caught James Watson, one of the unlucky ones, in the back of the wreck. Come on around here behind, so you'll see the wreck happening down the line. Coker's the other one. That's the barrel roll. Okay, that's Shane Coker's barrel roll, and Watson just tries to avoid that, but I don't really think when you try and avoid an incident, you account for one literally doing that. Let's go on board with Coker.
Yeah, just like the Thunderbirds that are based at the base right behind the Air Force Base, right behind. There's a barrel roll. That would, and he landed on his wheels too. That would make the Thunderbirds very proud. He should log that flight time. He should get credit for it. Here we're coming to pit road.
First pit stops for most of the field. I think one's staying out. I'm just trying to keep an eye on
Seb Kinder is going to stay out.
Well, I mean, we're not even halfway through the run, so it does sort of make sense if you want to play an alternate strategy. You do it now. A couple more also going for it. That's Van Gastel too.
Yeah, nothing to lose here. Pim Van Gastel started back in 13th. He's going to get a lot of track position. Julien stays out.
Did he? Oh, he did.
Yes, he did.
Back of that field. I didn't notice how far back he was in the field. Now he's up to the top. That's an easy run for him, I think. And this has bought me all the time, by the way, that I could possibly need to return. Return Julien Altena to the top. You know, sometimes... Now, I'm going to be told, and it's very true, should you have noticed this before you went live? And I'm going to go like, yes. Unfortunately, I was sort of doing other things and just thought this would work. But you know, you never account for the weird things that can happen on the road.
Hands are full right before you go live, and there's a lot of attention elsewhere. And yeah, I'm wondering if it has to do with the CSV. We'll see when you reload everything when you find out.
That's just
that's right.
But I tried to load last week's one, thinking, look, I have last week's, and I don't remember there being a problem last week. And for some reason, Roden Efting's name still showed up, and I was like, oh, that's why you heard me react. I was like, Roden Efting's name is still there. How did that happen? And don't ask me how that happened, because I don't know. But if I've saved that properly, Julien Altena returns for more of this race than not. There we go. So, pit stop strategy, top three staying out.
Yeah, staying out.
It's a stint of around 50. We're not even halfway. So it makes sense to me to try and split it differently. What we do know now is that, pretty sure that just gives Liam O'Sullivan his championship, though. That's 4 cars meatballed out in this race. He's going to finish higher than 22nd.
Yeah, that is everybody on pit road. Still haven't officially retired. They're going for repairs. A very long race. This is a 400-mile race. This is going to count as one of the Triple Crown events of this season. And yes, if all 4 of those retire, that should clinch Liam O'Sullivan the championship. Right now, if we were to finish right now, Liam O'Sullivan would have the championship. That would add to his Global IndyCar Challenge Championship and his VOR Iconic Series Championship from over the last, I think, about year and a half, calendar year. Somewhere in there, from 12 to 18 months, those are what he's gained. So starting to build up a resume, Liam O'Sullivan, but still needs to get this one officially, but pretty much 2 hands on the cup. Seb Kinder is going to bring us back to racing. Right behind him, Dan Inch, who is a lap down, and Pim Van Gastel third. And we are going to spread out here, and we're going to go 3 wide with teammates, Efting, Altena, and O'Sullivan. 4 wide.
Almost 4, making it into the turn. Our leader's gotten away, Kinder. Everything else has been calamity just behind. It was such a bad launch from P2 that it's just caused this absolute spread. This is carnage.
Liam back to 9th. Liam back to 9th as he had to lift a little bit. Otherwise, he was going to end up in the rear cowling of Pim Van Gastel, because I think Inch kind of backed that field up a little bit. Now Inch into the wall in front of Pim. Here's another run by Liam to the bottom of the racetrack. Meanwhile, up front, it is Kinder, Altena, and Strauss, your top 3. But our points leader is marred in traffic.
Going to have to replay quite what checked him up so bad, because that is a horrible way to get your green flag start. But I mean, safety your survival beats anything else. Here's Liam O'Sullivan rolling to the race start. Does trade the jump around the outside of Julien, so he has a very, very good read on the start. There's a F-tick to the top though, and at this point it's the 4 wide. It might be backing out of this that does it for him. No, he tries to pin it to the top, but that 10 is blocking him up, and that blockage is what slows him and lets everyone get him on the bottom.
Lindy purple lap, Liam O'Sullivan purple lap, back to back right there that time by 2:20.1 now. The purple lap as Liam has recovered a little bit. He's back in 10th as he goes underneath Pim and picks up the position. But Seb Kinder, who has not stopped, is up there with Julien Altena on those older tires, showing that older tires have pace at the moment if you have the front position. Primetime John Steller purple lap, 2:20.8. Lindy up in the picture, Strauss in the picture. They just stopped.
Not going to be an overwhelming tyre delta. There's going to be a bit though. Clenworth now pushing up really well. So our two of our top 3 are on the old strategy. And Pim Van Gastel's dropping a bit like a rock down the field though. From the top, now down all the way to 12th. Clenworth's back in this. He's really made a good load of that start, and he wants to at least claim a win to end the championship. F-Tick drops to the bottom to pass down past Altena. Rubber's going to get laid down over the course of this race. I think it's going to change the lines that are good. But top's usually not that bad here.
Yeah, as these cars go into the stint, if it's anything like our Tuesday night race over on P1, the bottom is OP, and then eventually they'll have to come off the bottom and get into the middle, and then they'll start running the middle to high. But right now, very early instance, the bottom is the preferred line, the old IRL line, so to speak here.
I think one consequence of the bottom being OP in races like the Fix Series is the setup. It's very easy to just rack the bottom on the fixed iRacing setup and just dump dirty air on cars that can't pass you. The setup here a lot more open. It's not really a competitive setup, but it's one that's intended to encourage racing in the VOR series, and that means that races like this are a little bit more viable, where you are seeing some moves on the top, some fast driving from plenty, and everything's a little bit viable. It's not just a game about wrapping at that bottom line. Clenworth's still pinned to the top.
Yeah, biggest changes since the last 2 times we've been here. We have extra boost given to these cars, so they're a little bit faster than before. And also, don't forget, we do have the hybrid now as F-Tink gets wheel to wheel with Seb Kinder. And he's going to lead that lap barely, but they got really up close and personal in 3 and 4. But 2 changes to the car that should make it a little bit faster and allow the high side maybe an opportunity to get a pass here. We'll see as the afternoon and the evening wears on and these tires degrade if hybrid power can power your car around on the high side, as a Strauss blinking out. But Liam O'Sullivan back in the battle, up the 5th now.
He's fast, he's been moving. I think the best strategy here, though, is to pretty much just accept the place you have in the line. Get a pass if it is convenient to you, but don't force it. Don't do something stupid. Don't do something crazy, because that's going to lead to a lot of carnage on the track.
Yeah, this is a give what the racetrack presents to you. And really all he needs to do is keep really Julien in sight. If he can keep Julien in sight, whether in front of him or behind him, that pretty much just clinches everything. If he needs to definitely keep rolling in this race. He can't afford a DNS, and that will make the championship battle closer. We do have a official retirement in Charpentier. He is out, but still showing extended repair work in pit road for Coker and Deck. And Watson is back on the racetrack. So we have 22 cars out of the 23 still running. Whoa! Liam flirting with disaster right there with Seb Kinder. Seb gave him no inches whatsoever.
So he is not just going to accept his place in this race. He wants that lead. Here he comes alongside. That could have ended badly, but I think both the drivers know and trust each other. That is scary to be on one with. I wonder if he got a 0x on the side-to-side car contact, the sort of thing you don't want to see here on this track. Now, Clenworth, though, is chasing.
keep in mind, those are two drivers that are coming in from European sites. And I know that this might be a European-based server that they chose to spawn this race in. And if so, that might have helped them out. Because if this was a U.S. server, that might have been possible netcode danger right there.
I actually think we're on US East. They started on Europe last season.
Bullet dodge.
And then they started on Europe last season, then they sort of saw that it was affecting some of the American drivers so much that they've put it on the US. The Ohio servers that sometimes like to go down on you in the middle of a race. But yeah, they got away with that time. Clenworth takes the point. No, good run now. Sure someone will be back to slingshot in no time. Julien Altena yet to stop. Dropping back again. I think he's just trying to play a long game here because he's not pushing like he usually does. He's certainly playing it on the strategy.
Linda, your leader, no wins this season for the defending series champion, would like to get off the schneid. And let's just face it, I mean, after you win one season and finish fourth in the next season, you got to be a little disappointed. So he would very much like a dub here to close out the season before we start planning the season 16 on the horizon. But he is your leader. A little bit further back, we see F-Tink to the inside of a three-car battle featuring Strauss and primetime John Stellar.
I'm seeing a few pit stops now, I believe. We saw one running out the pits, and I'm curious where Brian Fiolis has gone. Yeah, he's dropped because he has just made a stop. So we're seeing a couple change the strategy.
Yeah, he went 17 laps. He went 17 laps on that stint, so I'm not sure why he come to pit road early, unless he maybe smacked the wall and was forced to. But those that still need to come to pit road, which is Julien, Seb Kinder, they have not come to pit road yet.
Bit more single file now. This run's starting to settle out, although some are liking up the top. That's F-Tink running all the way up to the wall. Dangerous place to be. You don't want to take too much damage against it. A little bit of wobbling there from Strauss and Saucier. But I think it is largely calming down. I think Kinder's going to make a move at Clenworth sooner rather than later. But this is certainly not a race about where you are right now. It's about your pace on the long run, because things are going to split out by the end. Once we have our pit stops, our entries and exits are going to be crucial. And I think it's just going to be about how well you ran every lap of the many hundreds we have. It's a long season finale here.
41 laps now into this stint for Seb Kinder, and you gotta assume that there's teams out there that have made note of that and now know that later in a race, if they need to go a little bit longer on a set of tires, that as long as you have that clean air out in front of you, it might not be a bad call to go for some track position, and maybe if you can make it to the end without a new set of tires, go for that clean air. That clean air seems to be kind of what's buying Seb Kinder a little bit extra time and also a little extra space as he's in the tire tracks of Glindy, and they're starting to pull away from that group behind him of F-Tink, O'Sullivan, and Saucier.
Certainly now a gap. It's 5 tenths between the two. Going to pull in just a bit. I think F-Tink might get up there, but they're working together quite well actually to make a good gap on the field. Here's F-Tink's onboard run down to the bottom. He's mostly running his own line, not trying to overthink the cars ahead now. Now it's 3 tenths, and it is actually mostly working out. The biggest gap I think is ahead of John Stallard. It's 7 tenths to the rest of the field. A few drivers have been held up in the way. As Strauss still blinking next to Altena, trying to hope that no one runs into him.
I do not want to rematerialize inside of someone. That's a very bad transporter accident in Star Trek, and it's going to result in a wreck here in iRacing. But the top 5 now, the top 3 have been joined by F-Tink, who has run him down, and he just goes to the high side with contact, and they are spinning off a 4, and we're going to go under caution, and that happened right in front of all of the key leaders in the points championship.
Not how you want to finish a race, but we're seeing a lot of understeering. We're seeing drivers just sort of not make the turn. We'll see how this goes. Yeah, it's a bit of plow. It's a bit of plow up the turn. Those tires finally starting to bite you and not let you run to the bottom as much as you want, and that's a very unfortunate to be on that high side. You sort of know that he hasn't stopped, but you just sort of have to put trust in the other driver that he's not going to make that mistake.
That is, I think that's an experience and kind of a risky move. Roden thought that maybe he could power by on the outside. Maybe he thought also that that Kinder would lift a little bit and allow him on by. Kinder's trying to hold on to that track position, and his pit stop is not that far off into the distant future. Would it have been better if F-Tink just rides it out and waits for Kinder just to come to pit road naturally instead of kind of forcing the issue?
Possibly so. I guess you have to remember that the car's going to understeer ahead of you, though, just because of the nature of the tire wear. I guess if you haven't like clocked that mentally, you think this is safer than it really is. In reality, he's going to struggle. So more drivers taken down to pit lane now. I think everyone's trying to get their fuel top offs, even if they don't change the tires quite yet. So actually, the whole field does take this time. Carl Clenworth will take the lead again over Bryce Saucier this time. Liam O'Sullivan in third. He's very, very good on the starts, though, Liam. So you put him up near there, and that's going to become a bit of a threat in itself.
Julien went 47 laps that time on that stint, and this kind of fell into his lap. He is now mathematically going to be able to do, if we go green here for the rest of this race, do this race in one less stop than everyone else. So this is in good position. He does not want to see any more caution, I don't think. We have gone caution-free here before. We are in our second caution, I believe, of the day. We went caution-free back in 2024. That was season 12. 18 cars started that race. Jesper Dahlgren won it over Craig Forsyth by 91 thousandths of a second. But it has happened here before, so we're in our second caution right now. It's conceivable the rest of this race can go caution-free. And if it doesn't, Julien can do this under one less stop.
You do get the feeling of how a race is going to go, though, from the first 50 laps. And my gut is on that we might have a few more. My gut feeling is that, like, if we're making these small mistakes, yes, we whittle out drivers this way. There's no real stupidity in the field. Both mistakes have been pretty small. But once a couple of those happen, I think you get the feeling that one or two might just be on the way. And Worth hasn't had as good of a season as he had last time, but he's going to get to lead the field to green exactly on the drop of 50. Still many, many laps to go, though. We're not even a quarter of the way. It's a long set of runs to the end.
Lap 49 of 267. We're doing 400 miles here today. Clindy running the point. He will take the restart. Clindy, we talked about this earlier. Liam O'Sullivan in a possible Triple Crown opportunity here today with wins earlier this season at Indianapolis and at Auto Club. That was a Stewart awarded win at Auto Club, by the way. So I guess there would be an asterisk kind of next to his name if he does get the Triple Crown with a win here at Vegas. But Clindy also won 2 jewels of the Triple Crown, 2/3 of the Triple Crown a season ago in season 14 at, I believe, Homestead in Indianapolis, but did not win at Texas to secure the Triple Crown. So it has happened before. Clindy has gotten close before, but can Liam O'Sullivan actually secure the Triple Crown for the first time in series history? Here he comes to the point, up to the top, and goes right around Clindy, and almost looks like Clindy lit him on by.
The way Clindy was running, I was very worried he was going to run into the side of one of those cars, or actually he was sort of wobbling up and down the track on the bottom side just a little bit. And I think when the run's that big, you do let him go, but I'm a bit worried about Sullivan running away that fast because he's already built quite the gap. Now Stellar blocks up the top, then the bottom lane. So he's sort of holding up both just a little. Now maybe Saucier can get the run. I think he can pretty well.
Yeah, use that hybrid power to kind of power yourself around the outside. Here comes 44 Nation, John Christensen. It's been a while since he had his last win here in the series, and this is a style of track that suits his racecraft, and he is now up in the 4th position. And believe it or not, he is the second of the 4 Altena Auto Sports cars on the grid right now, as one of them is retired in F-Tink. But Christensen now in the podium position. He is up on the third step. Saucier purple lap that time by 2:20.9. Christensen in third spot.
Saucier takes the lead around O'Sullivan, so that runaway certainly wasn't going to last for long. Strauss tries to go both ways, left and right, around side Christensen. Can't really find any way. And now Altena's sort of back in this. So now some drivers are going to be able to save a stop, but everybody that's on this lead lap is now running the same stint length. We don't have the alternate strategies anymore. Still, like, if you made your stops at different times, you might be able to save one. That's going to help you a long time later from now. But we have also sort of reset the short term. Saving fuel is going to be a huge deal around there, I think. If you could just cut a pit stop off, you could just win this whole race no matter what.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty tough to save on that extra stop, but we'll see. Julien, again, has race experience here before. Clindy has race experience here before in the lineup. Obviously from finish on the podium before. Here comes Christensen. Maybe Christensen wants to play the hound, or the hare in this case, and make the hounds behind him try to run him down. All the while, they're punching a big hole in the air for Julien and Liam to save fuel.
Strauss has been a very competitive part of this as well. Pretty much since the start, he's been in a relevant place on the track, and I wouldn't count him out, actually, of becoming a major part of this race in time. Christensen's been able to hold that point, though, ever since he pushed his way up to it. Made some good moves early on in this run. Altena's really back in this. He's sort of been everywhere. He started at the back. He sort of faded to the middle in the last run. Now he's in it, and now he's just going to race his teammates like his life depends on it. I think now he knows that, like, he can't ruin his teammates' championship. Maybe he's going to start pushing him just that little bit more.
He's not going to ruin it, but he's not going to make it a walk-away for him either. It's not going to make it a walk-off race.
Well, now if he wrecks his teammate, he's not ruined the championship. So maybe that will push him a little bit harder, you know? Like, oh, yeah, we'll race now.
The teammate prime directive out the window right now. Oh, Liam slides up the racetrack in front of Strauss. Checks up everybody behind. A group of 5 together in diamond formation through 1 and 2. Vogelsang back in 6th. Clindy fades to 7th. Primetime John Stellard in 8th. Katie Pollock. I said watch Katie. Katie up in 9th. And Vince in 10th. Still a long way to go. 400 miles is the distance for today's race.
The laps don't seem to be flying by as quickly as they usually do. Stellar dropped all the way from 2nd, by the way, now being passed by Pollock on the outside. He's down to 9th on the road, and he's sort of the last car of this lead pack, but even he's fading out of it. Sort of carnage up at the top. Now it's Strauss's turn to try and make the move. Not clear by the start-finish. Altena's got a good run. Really, everybody, I think, is sort of in it a bit as well. Vogelsang is a driver that we've not really seen much of. He's been running further near the back throughout. Now he's up in the chase too. Clenworth's dropped. I think he's playing his own game. We continue to swing up and down the track.
Vogelsang off a podium finish at St. Pete in one of our sprint races. Would like to back that up with a good oval result. Saucier, Liam thought about threading the needle, and he backed out of it. Wow, moving and weaving, bobbing and jiving down the backstretch. Almost contact between Strauss and O'Sullivan. And these are things that O'Sullivan needs to worry about. He needs to worry about now, just really, you've talked about this before, is finishing this race, getting to the checkered flag. And when you have issues like that in front of you with other drivers, driving yourself in those situations, well, it makes that end goal of just getting to the checkered flag a little bit harder. We still have 200 laps of this race to go.
Altena warned easy on the microphone, by the way. He's a little bit scared. Free wide around turn 1. He's just watching this behind thinking, please don't crash in front of me.
He's got the best seat in the house. I mean, that's for sure. There you go, seeing from the best seat in the house. That is on cue. That is a master producer right there. That's why you are the general, Howie.
Don't talk about the like 40 laps I might have forgot to toggle a scene on OBS.
No, we got timing and scoring up. We're good. We're good.
After a while, let me put it like that. Okay.
Basically everybody made an appearance at the top of the field and on camera. So we knew where everybody was. We knew where everybody was. We're riding. We were riding with Julien there. As you saw very clearly, Julien doesn't have a place to go. But Howie, where are you going to go when you get up there? Julien probably just in a good spot to just lay back behind and maybe extend this fuel stint as long as possible. With those three up there racing, there you see all that sun glare. With those three racing, they are definitely on full burn and burning more fuel than Julien. Julien back here going, go right ahead. Just go do that.
Yeah, mind your own business back here, I think. Mind it. Now up to the top side. Still blinking from that Strauss car. It's going to scare me at one point. I can't ride on board if a car is going to disappear and jump my camera back out either. Still side by side. So now Sullivan's backed out of it, and then all of a sudden, Altena starts running a little bit faster.
O'Sullivan has been doing that, kind of widening out the entry into one, going all the way out to the wall right there. Here we're going to go 3 wide to the inside. That might be ill-advised. He thought about it.
Getting tied up
again
there.
He's there, Liam. Yep, Liam is wanting to get by, but the hole is not presenting itself. He knows that the third line is not going to do anything. He might thread the needle. No, he goes high again. 3 wide through the corner. Strauss in the middle. And again, you got to cause a little bit of concern and pause when you're around Strauss, who's been bleaking out for much of this race. Oh, Julien going wide, giving a little extra room to this battle in front of him.
Everybody on the same fuel run means
yes, everybody's on the fuel strat.
Means we're going to see people duck down to the pits at roughly similar times, give or take some laps based on how they've been running. This is sort of quite the reset. I was interested in the split strategies. We sort of reset it back out to something a little bit more long run pace. We're just going to go 3 wide again. Why not? There's space for a 4th car.
Why not? Come on, Julien actually only done the 1 stop, so he's going to be able to complete this race 1 stop less than everyone else, but he is on, now that fuel strategy has synced up. But it could be one of these fuel stops that he might have to put in less than everyone else. We don't quite know. We know he has a stop still. You just don't know how much he needs to put into the tank fully. So we'll see. Right now, I would say during this stint, we're halfway through the stint. If we are looking at the 4-stop window, really, is the number that people are kind of shooting at. Again, the 4-stop window is, the 5-stop window is 44.45. The 4-stop window is 53.54, which you talked about. That 50 laps seems to be that stint area. We're coming up. We're halfway through that. So we're coming up on that window here rather quickly at 24 seconds a lap. Julien shifts out top. I think he's just giving everyone a bunch of extra room. He goes on the high side, and Strauss, a big lift, and Julien cruises on by.
Strauss as well and truly backed out of that, put him in the clutches of John Christensen now, as you like to call him, the 44 Nation. I've gotten used to that, recognizing what that means now. It took me more than multiple seasons to understand. And I was like, oh, he's the 44 car. So Stellar's really the last car in touch in this field. Then Sombassi is 1.6 behind. So everyone behind is very much running their own race with a much, much bigger gap. Sullivan's to the point on lap 75. Not going to obviously be the big decider for the whole race because it's been very much a pack race for the whole distance so far. But different drivers have led different amount of laps. I mean, if we take a look across the field, we've had Saucier's led 20 on the line. Altena's led 1. Sullivan's led 22. Strauss only 1. So it's been quite the variety. It's not really been a race of dominance. I think it will only be dominated by the very end.
Track temperature is also pretty moderate for Las Vegas. 94 degrees on the track temp, 88 on the ambient. We're not looking at very challenging conditions right now, so that is inviting the pack race. And now Julien up to the top, and he is on the outside of his teammate. loose championship implications right here. We see first and second place on the racetrack and first and second place in the point standings. Saucier is just going to be, I think Saucier is the best place for him is on the bottom, and he will follow through. Although it does kind of look like Liam is lending a little bit of the draft to Julien to help kind of pull him away and pull him ahead. Saucier decides to transfer to the top.
Working together with a teammate round there could be a good plan for you. Could help you get away, but I don't think Saucier is going to take that and accept it one bit. Flies to the bottom.
Oh, big wiggle for Liam O'Sullivan off of 4. And, well, I mean, I worked with Julien before here in the race, and having a teammate does matter. It did in our case.
It looks less
you don't
bad
really see it there on that shot.
It looks less bad on board, but I was scared.
Yeah. He got a little close to the wall than he wanted to, that's for sure. Probably made for the happy hands at that point. Julien back to third now. Liam O'Sullivan back to the point. Biggest gainer on the racetrack other than Julien up 18. 44 Nation, John Christensen. When I say 44 Nation, for a long time, before we got you in as producer, he had, and I think he still does, if you're part of 44 Nation, speak up in chat, always had a large following in chat. So the Nation of 44 showing up in chat to root on their guy, John Christensen. And maybe today is the day he gets that second career win here.
Glenworth's moving back up. He's in P6 now. Christensen would be next for him to chase. Not out of this at all. Polak running a good one too. She's able to get around the outside of Vogelzang. And I think John Stellar's going to try and do exactly the same. Not quite. He's cut off.
It's possible that Stellard and Clindy and some other drivers in the starting lineup, Coker, who's retired, might be all in the same VC and kind of loosely working together. So to see Stellard behind Clindy, not surprising there. They possibly could be working with one another. Here comes Clindy to the inside of John Christensen. And I don't think Clindy's in any hurry. If I know Clindy from working with him and calling races with him, he is definitely playing chess right now. About 3 moves down, 3 moves up on everybody, and trying to script this race out in his mind that he can maybe shave off one more stop if we stay green. We're in the middle of a very nice green flag stint, so green flag pit stops are not out of the realm of possibility. We are 36 laps since the restart. Liam O'Sullivan, the leader.
And as you say it, you've summoned 44 nations, so it's good to know they actually do exist for watching from Chicago. Love to see it. Love to see the support for your drivers out there. He's having a good day. He's got a long race still to make it through. Glenworth now climbs another pass. Strauss, I think he is starting to move, actually. He does want to start getting up the field. I mean, trading back and forth for the lead, Liam O'Sullivan and Bryce Saucier, but I think they're going to be doing this for a while. I'm trying to work out what quite other narratives are going on too. Glenworth, I think, is one of them. He's starting to play this game again, starting to burn some more fuel. Maybe he's realised there's something to use in this run.
Also, possible tire management. You have talked about tire deg. It shouldn't be as big of an issue with the track temp not extremely scorching right now. We are still in double digits in track temp in the Fahrenheit. We have not reached triple digits yet. So it is not, we're not going to see high deg out there. But if you're out there hustling it, you're going to see that tire deg. And right now, I think Strauss might have hustled it a little too much and used up his tires. Now starting to fall back a little bit. We might see Saucier fall back into the grasp of Clindy next. He's been hustling up front. We definitely saw a little bit of waggles there from Liam O'Sullivan. I think Julien has been babying those tires a little bit. He has not been pushing the issue. He's got up to the lead. He's fallen back, is now back in single file, realizing that the best thing for him is he really needs to finish this race. So he is babying those tires a little bit. Here comes Clindy. He is right there. He is closed within 0.3 of Saucier.
So certainly making this his chase, certainly making this his game. I wondered if he was going to stay within a second. Now our lap traffic starting to show up as well. That might affect the field because I count 4 cars ahead, and he's 4th in road. I believe that's James Watson. Must be quite damaged to go this many laps down. This will be his 11th lap down on the road. Still just trying to get laps done in case I think wrecks happen on the track. Running slower, not uncompetitively slower in terms of like dangerously slower, but certainly meaningfully slower. I wonder if something's up with that car.
James, a lot of starts in these cars, not just in the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship Series history, but just in general in the IndyCar community here on iRacing. And he is one driver you can trust to race around, that he will keep it clean and green around you, give you plenty of room. And there you see he stayed and remained predictable, goes to the low side, and everybody passes him on the high side. He gets back in line and attempts to just ride the remainder of this race out in the possibly damaged car. Back up front, O'Sullivan side by side now with Julien Altena.
Now it's teammates running each other, and again we were going to wonder, are they going to work together, or are they going to fight each other around the track? But they're not exactly playing the draft trading game here. They're running their own lines, so I think the race is on. A few other side-by-side battles. It's Stock and somebody down there. I don't know why I struggled over that one quite so much. Sallard's at the back of a line with Vogelzang too. Saucier and Clenworth catching this lead pack though, and they're going to be the drivers that make a very big difference here.
Good old Peter Zambati to love back there at 11th. But we are watching this battle up front with Liam O'Sullivan, Julien Altena side by side. Julien on the high side. Liam down low. He's actually scrubbing those tires a little bit more down low. Julien giving him lots of room, not pinching him. Oh, Saucier sliding through the tri-oval area. And we're going to bring out, is that going to bring out the caution? Did he slide out of the way? He just got loose. And there's the caution. And that is going to bring everybody to pit road. Right in a pit window.
Ain't the timing convenient? Ain't it, ain't it, ain't it? Here he goes.
Let's see what happens here.
That car just loses itself.
That is, wow, you don't see that. In the OME car here, he goes to the bottom. And, the OMF, the Open Medicine Foundation car that we've seen sponsor the All-American iRacer guys. He just slides through, just gets loose in the middle of the straightaway. And I'm wondering if maybe the back end of those tires were just kind of wore out and just a little bit of a twitch of the turning the wheel. We might have to watch the in-car on that one, I don't know, and just see how his hands are reacting. It just looks like oversteer, and the car was very light at that point.
Yeah, we did get that on board, and literally the rear just disappeared during the tri-oval. So I'm not exactly, that must have just been a very unexpected snap from very badly worn tyres, which is starting to make me think, could we get a repeat of something like Kansas this season, where cars just started loosening themselves up and self-spinning long into a run? We were quite close to the pit stop, 47. Would have been another 10. It's the first time we've seen a car just do it to himself.
Yeah, so you're going to see everybody coming to pit road here. O'Sullivan, Altena, Clindy, Strauss. Saucier very lucky. Oh, almost a collision on, between Miriani and Pollock coming onto pit road right there at the cones. But Saucier will be able to throw on a new set of tires and race his way back up to the front. He has shown that he's been racy all day. So expect to see him, again, turn the wick up. Julien already moving. And almost beats out Liam O'Sullivan off pit road.
Liam spent a little bit further in the box there, actually. 9.2 seconds as opposed to 8.3. Is that usually the sign that he may have taken tyres or taken more fuel?
I would say I have to go back and watch. Did he miss his marks at all? Did he get deep into the box? There's a couple...
Looks good in the box.
Circumstances that would call that. Did he get into the box? He got in a little cockeyed, not extremely cockeyed. Clindy was on the same schedule as Julien, and he was pretty much lined up with him behind. See what happens. I think maybe he was either had problems getting out of the box. The only thing I can think of is had problems getting out of the box. Possibly had the engine or the speed limiter engaged. So one of the things you do when you get into IndyCar and little tricks of the trade to kind of speed up your time on pit road is you disengage the pit road speed limiter when you're in the box. So as soon as you come out, you have no retardation of your engine whatsoever. You just immediately go. But you got to remember to hit that button, otherwise you'll speed on pit road. A lot of drivers disengage it, and that helps on their exit of their box. It's possible that he did not disengage and just had it engaged the entire time. Somebody like Julien, somebody like Clindy, those are tricks of the trade that they would probably learn earlier. They might have had the fuel limit or the pit road speed limiter disengaged at that point, and that's how they got out of the box quicker. Also possible they short filled. And it's also possible that Liam just filled it all the way to the brim. But that's enough to show about a second difference on pit road.
Interestingly, I mean, Liam spends almost an extra second in the box, but he's actually slightly, less than half a second slower in the whole lane. So we had a very, very good entry, and he sort of compensated off any of that disadvantage. And look at him now; he's up in the lead of the race. So I don't think he'll be complaining any time soon. So if he doesn't fill a little bit more, I think that's probably only good news for him. Clendy now in P3. He's going to be the real spoiler to this, but we do know that Sullivan is good at the restarts. So we'll see how this one plays out as we go on green.
Julien all over the attenuator of Liam. Liam bringing it down slow. And now we start to fan out in the back. A little bit of accordion action. Stewards get to work. They might have some black flags to clear. Remember the restart rules here in Velocity Online Racing do allow you to pass anywhere once the track goes green. And here goes Julien to the outside. Clindy stays to the middle. Here comes Strauss. And up into the battle now. Peter Zambati. He is somebody now. Look at him. He's in third.
Made a good run of it here, and he wants to try and challenge for this race lead. He's got a bit of a brick wall of two VOR drivers down the line. Clemworth confidently in fourth. It's Strauss alongside. Here's somebody. That's a good way to remember how to say it, is you say it's somebody and you just change one or two syllables around.
There you go.
Peter somebody once told me, there we go. He's lining up nicely in the row. On the top side, don't think he wants to send it free wide though.
Vogelzang in fifth. Clindy falls back to sixth, but again, Clindy playing maybe possibly a little chess. Here comes Vinci, takes a peek to the inside. But Clindy back there maybe playing a little chess. No reason to lead, just stay back there and conserve some fuel and keep the leaders in the frame in front of you.
Especially if this race is going to be this very sort of like full run to yellow. That'll make the last run an absolute slugfest if that ends up coming to toe. Because at this point, people will stop playing strategy, and I think we might encounter some carnage instead. Liam O'Sullivan leads the row. Strauss runs a little bit close to Altena. Still just a little bit close to the bottom. Here comes Vogelzang flying on through. Bottom lane's pretty good here. I do think it is the stronger line. Even though the top is more viable than you're used to it being, I do think that bottom is where good stuff is right now.
Yeah, definitely with the new tires. Only 6 laps into this run. And Julien, I think, sees some names of some drivers that haven't been up front for a lot of the season. And, car on the wall off of 4. That was Vinci, I believe. Also, Miriani. I think that might have been Miriani. Vinci just missed him, but a big tank slapper off of 4 for Miriani. And that about caught about accordion to half the back end of the field. Watch this.
Oh, he's already lifted. He already had to lift off. He knew there was going to be trouble.
Yeah.
At that point,
he had 2 cars in front of him. 2 cars in front of him, and just all the dirty air was being fed to him. He had no air whatsoever on those front wings. Liam O'Sullivan giving a lot of room to Zambati. Again, nothing against Peter. He just hasn't been at the front all year and all season. And a lot of these drivers, when you start seeing these names you haven't raced against, you give them a little bit of room. You want to gauge how they are. How's their racecraft? And right now, Zambati's racecraft is looking pretty good. He's up 12 spots. He's given a lot of room to the leaders. does not want to do anything that might jeopardize the championship, but he also wants to get up there and lead. He's got some pace. So this is his chance to shine and show everybody what he can do.
Half a second, though, to Vogelzang down back. So that second pack starting to sort of fall back just a little. Somebody does want to make it. Somebody does want to make the move.
Yeah, last race of the season, you want to finish on a high note. You see an opportunity to get a W or at least get some stream time. Get on up there. Get on up there, Peter. Stays on the high side, getting plenty of clean air on the front of his car. Hey, if you enjoy Velocity Online Racing's coverage of the VOR IndyCar Championship and you respect the stream, please do us a solid. Make sure you support us by subscribing. And while you're at it, don't forget to smash like and click the bell so you don't miss out on future iRacing broadcasts. We're about 107 laps into this thing. Now 108. Still a lot of racing to go here. 400 miles, the final race of the season. Final race of the championship for this season. Third race of the Triple Crown for this season. Championship almost decided at this point. Liam O'Sullivan just basically needs to finish this race. And with the attrition we've had already, he should have enough to win the championship. Should. Because we keep in mind, all results are unofficial at the end of these races. And of course, he's in a running for the Triple Crown. He won a Stewart Awarded race at the start of the season at California. Club Speedway won the Indy 500. This is the third leg of the Triple Crown. No Triple Crown winner in the history of VOR has ever been crowned. Could he be the first today by getting the win here at Lost Wages?
Lost Wages is another one that took me. It actually stunlocked me last week, and then I was like, actually, that's genius. That's genius, Gary. You came up with it right there. I mean, this gap's growing now. We're going 8 tenths to the next car for Vogelzang. Going to be a second at this rate. I don't know whether he's slow or the cars ahead are just doing something else entirely to get away. But this is not the pack race up front that we were used to now. We have huge separation among these top two.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of patience being shown right now. I think some of these drivers have decided that there might be problems with these cars late in a run, that maybe we should take care of these tires a little bit to make these runs go a little bit longer. They see the benefit of possibly making at least one green flag stint out of this run too. So maybe make this the green flag run that builds on that. And everyone's showing a lot of patience. But Saucier in a battle with Christensen, Clindy right behind. Back up while you're watching a battle between Altena and Vogelzang side by side. But just behind them is that battle I was talking about with Christensen, Saucier, and Clindy, as we have about a group of 7 cars all together, all in the same group right now.
It's carnage here. As much as it's gotten clean up front, and now it's 9 tenths, so they're growing even more of their gap. Back here, everybody has to scramble for everything. So Altena was able to break free, and then look at just how much he's starting to catch now. I think Vogelzang is the cork in this bottle right now, and he's the one that, if you get past him, you'll be able to make your own way. But until then, he's sort of backing up the whole field in his way. Not enough space at the top for Strauss. He's leaving not quite a car. That's going to stop Strauss from really making the run. But that's what's slowing down a lot of this field right now. Vogelzang is just backing everybody up, whether he's doing a fuel strategy game or whether he just runs slower laps. Altena's going to catch that train up front sooner rather than later. Is another chance for Strauss. Vogelzang, though, holds that bottom. It's hard to pass up there.
Vogelzang may have just be on his own pace. It's not necessarily he's having any issues, just on his own pace as Strauss goes up. And, well, I know a lot of kisses happen in Vegas. Normally they go off to the 24-hour chapel. That is not a kiss that you want to make in Vegas up against the wall here at turn 4. And it got pretty close there for Strauss. He's back in line, but that caused a little bit of a pause for everybody behind, and now they are back kind of to square one, as now Vogelzang has lost contact with somebody by about 7 tenths. Still in the draft envelope. That is the best part. He's still in the draft envelope. But I tell you what, Clindy and Strauss doing the math, they do not want that draft envelope to be expired. They do not want to see that group of 3 exceed a second and a half with Vogelzang leading this group. Otherwise, they have lost the draft to the leaders, and that's going to make them very tough to run down those leaders. I would imagine now the urgency to get around Vogelzang is being ramped up by every 1/10 of a second that Vogelzang falls behind. But I'm going to give Vogelzang credit. He is starting to reel that top group back in now.
Then work to the bottom. He's going to be next to Clear. Yeah, we have sort of strung this field back together again. Can't run away for long here at Las Vegas. Not really in these cars, in this setup. It remains close pretty much to the end. Nemo Sullivan's been pretty unbothered for a while now, and that's the word he wants to focus on most.
And again, I mean, Liam's leading. He's doing the most fuel burn here. There's zero incentive, really, at this point for Julien to pass at this point in the race. For the only time that Julien would want to pass would be at lap 266 coming to 267. Right now, I'm just going to stay behind, keep him right in front of me, keep him, right there in my crosshairs. When I say crosshairs, when I used to drive these things, I always remember the center bar of the aero screen. I always used it as a crosshair. And I'm like, just keep the car there, the car in front of me right there in the crosshair, and they're not going anywhere, and I'm right there. But here comes Julien to the outside. He pulls alongside, giving a lot of room off the corner. Very shallow entry for Liam into the corner. A little bit closer this time through 3 and 4, wheel to wheel. But again, Julien, not much incentive to pass. Liam might want him to pass. Julian's like, nah, I'm not going to let you. I'm just going to tuck back in line here. Going to stay into the high side. Let's check last lap speeds. .216, .217. I mean, they're not up there lifting an awful lot. Keep in mind the purple laps at 221. At this point, 27 laps into the stint, I could see these as full burn pushes. But Julien not willing to do his teammate any favors by falling behind and drafting off him right now. Here comes Clindy. And as just before, remember in that previous stint, Clindy closing the gap midway through and late in the stint. And now he's doing the same thing, managing those tires, managing the stint. And now he's going to be up among the leaders now. Well, he's among the leaders. He's in third spot, but he's going to be challenging for the lead.
But now, though, O'Sullivan can't just run his peaceful race anymore, but what he can just do is wrap the bottom and hope, and wrapping the bottom is helping. Oh. So, yeah, that bottom lane.
Peter Zambati, sorry, not that we cut you off. Peter Zambati loose off of 4, caught it. Watch this. I don't know if we're going to see it off the in-car, but definitely they're going to be 3 wide down the backstretch. We'll see it right here on the in-car. No, not the in-car. We're not going to see it. Yeah, there it is. Watch. Yeah, he caught it. He just started to feel it, and he shot to the bottom and caught it. And we're 30 laps into the stint. So we're about 10 laps away from where we saw problems in stint 1 and stint 2.
I think these cars are starting to loosen themselves up badly over a run. The setups here can shred your tires a bit more than a competitive one. By design, another close one for somebody. He almost turns himself there off the nose of a car behind. I think that was Vogelzang.
Right now, he needs to get in there and adjust the tools. And this is a fixed setup race. So if you're not familiar with these cars in a fixed setup race, everyone has the same setup. They start the race. They cannot adjust the wings at all or tire pressures on pit road as you would an open setup race. What is available to them in the car are the anti-roll bars and the weight jacker. So what he's wanted to do is you make the subtle adjustments with the car and handling with the weight jacker. Basically, it controls the right height of the right rear, basically, in these cars. In the real Indy cars, it adjusts weights from the left to the right of the car. But in this case, it's adjusting to how the right rear in iRacing adjusts. So not a one-to-one comparison to real IndyCar racing. So if you are familiar with how the weight jacker works in IndyCar racing, not necessarily how it works here exactly, but it does impact the way your car handles. Subtle changes through the weight jacker. If his car starts acting like that and he's going through the weight jacker and it's not changing, then he needs to go to the anti-roll bar. Probably stiffen the front or loosen the front, stiffen the back. No, you want to stiffen the front and loosen the back there if you make the front number higher than the rear number, and that would help if your car is getting loose. But the way that we see him getting loose on exit normally is going to be a weight jacker adjustment. And that's coming down on the weight jacker, not going up on the weight jacker. 3 wide. Behind him. Saucier, force, little brute force by Saucier. We know he has pace. He's up in the top 5 now.
Bit of a gap up ahead. 7 tenths there. Altena's trading with O'Sullivan. Trading. I think pit stops are going to be the big changer of this field right now, though. Altena, I mean, he'd love to do that last to first. He would love to get that one done. At that point, he'll be holding that one over O'Sullivan. Like, you won the season because you were last to first at Las Vegas. That's what he'll say. And you should try last to first.
Julien has experience doing that here at this racetrack. He and I started 18th and 19th. In fact, the cars that started 17th, 18th, and 19th in the very first VOR race here back in Season 4 all finished in the top 6 on the lead lap at the end. Julien finished second. Only, I think I said 41 thousandths of behind the Cohen Evans, who won that particular race. Julien with the lead, and he's not giving an awful lot of room to Liam down the backstretch, but Liam squeaks on by. But Julien does have experience from the back of the pack to the front of the pack, and he's showing it again. But the interesting party involved now is much like we saw Julien when he was watching 2 cars in front of him battle for position. It was like a 3-car battle in front of it. Is now Clindy, and he's just very patiently, I'm just going to follow and save fuel. And I'm going to work on my tires, back off a little bit in the corner, save the tires, work on the draft, hold myself forward, regen on the hybrid, keep myself in the battle. One of you two does something, I'm going to be there to pounce on you. But in the meantime, you just keep bouncing off one another. I'll just stay back here in third.
Exactly halfway through the race now, and about 15 away from pit stops if we get them. So plenty more ways to move and change the field on the line.
And let's talk about pit stops. They must enter off of turn 3. So they must enter, on the apron right before turn 3. And then they ride the apron all the way around until they get to the cones where they need to get down to the pit road speed limit, which is 50 miles per hour here. And then, of course, they need to adhere to the rest of the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship pitting rules, which is staying out in the far lane and then cutting in to your box as you get about 3 boxes closer. You cannot run through the pits like you see in the fixed series. It's not allowable here. Other series allowed as well. And more of a proper pit road rules here in the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship. But getting to pit road, not as easy as just coming off of turn 4 as you would see in most cases here at iRacing. You're actually entering off of turn 3 and riding the apron. Very slick down there. And we've seen, Howie, we've seen early in the race when these cars were under caution and even under the pace laps, the amount of dust that was being kicked up. I would imagine there's a ton of dust down on the apron.
Thankfully, like the dust that's on the track earlier gets scooped away. I think we're seeing, I remember Gateway was when we first saw a lot of dust on the track, and ever since then it's just been this eternal constant, hasn't it? Like, there has always been a pre-race dust storm. I think there's something up with iRacing that caused quite much of that. On every race I do now, there's a dust storm. Like, you just drive along and cause that. But I remember
that was dust at St. Pete.
Auto Club was a massive problem with pit entries to begin the season. Cars would just spin out and slide up the track.
Yeah. And we're doing about equal speeds that we did at Auto Club. Since Auto Club, we've had an update with these cars and the boosts have been increased. So they are about the same speeds here right now than we would be at Auto Club. And Auto Club's a half mile bigger. That's a 2-mile oval. This is a 1.5 miles. I noticed that if you watch Liam O'Sullivan, and we're watching a little bit battle farther back with Zombody. and Christensen. But I was watching Liam O'Sullivan coming off of turn 4, and the back end of his car just seems a little happy. A little happy. There's another little bit of a twitch. And I watch so many of these races, and you might be saying, I don't see what you're talking about, Gary. That's all I do is IndyCar races on iRacing, pretty much. Although I had forced duty to do a truck series race at Bristol last night. That wasn't so bad, but I do primarily IndyCar races. And I can hear little things in the engine now, and I can see little twitches in these cars that maybe someone that doesn't watch these all the time don't notice. And they're like, I don't see how loose he is. I'm willing to bet at this point, and we are now 47 laps into the stint, and with lap traffic, and here he comes, pit road, as he slows it down. Look at all the dust down on the bottom as he tries to roll this car down. The back end of that car is very happy. He's bringing it in hot. 50 miles per hour trying to, look at those hands in the cockpit.
That was not a good pit entry. It actually could affect him later down the line. Let's catch a hold on board of the whole journey, but someone had to test just how loose this was going to be down here. He's barely holding onto it.
I could tell he had his hands full back on the race. We know he had his hands full on the apron. I could tell he had his hands full on the racetrack just by those little twitches. But he is now doing a green flag pit stop. So green flag pit stops have started, And the reason why he's coming before everyone else, Howie, and everyone at home, it's because he was leading so much and punching the hole in the air. Maximum drag, causing maximum bog down of that mileage in that engine. Right now, Julien is on bonus time.
Contact
out the corner! Oh my goodness, this is somebody involved, Christensen involved, and
Christensen's
I'm watching Liam O'Sullivan, who is a lap down, and he might cycle all the way to the front. He might get lucky here.
Somebody has a meatball. And that's damage for Christensen, but he survived. Amazingly, keeps us in one place. He's really plowing up the track hard. Sent flying. That side pod damage, that sucks for somebody. He's not going to be able to recover. I actually think John Christensen might have taken wheel damage on the front wing. Catches on board. He went flying out of that one. He's lucky to not be the second barrel roll.
He's probably undoubtedly going to have some floor damage as well, the way that thing smacked the ground, even though that was in the grass. And that really, they didn't have anybody in front of him for dirty air. They were pretty clear of dirty air at that point. That is just really, really worn tires at this point. And on the in-car, if you watch Christian, he had that wheel cranked. And it just, that car was not turning. That car was not turning. Now we're going to see if this caution is going to hurt Liam O'Sullivan.
He's done his stop. He's going to be able to lead this pack one down, waved around with Violas. I think it'll be okay for him.
It might not be bad. I think he got out optimally. And it's going to be minimized. The damage is going to be minimized. Clindy's coming down pit road. Clindy, Julien, Strauss, Vogelsang, everybody. But there you see Liam O'Sullivan coming around now. And he will get to the pace car. And he will get the wave around before we go green. But unfortunately, he is going to go to the back of the pack. So this is going to be interesting on how he is going to attack this next stint with 120 to go. There's still another stop to go. Maybe another 2 stops, really. If we're talking about 50 laps a stint, 50 doesn't go into 120 very easily without a splash at the end there, so to speak. So we still have at least 2 stops ahead of us. But he is going to have to be very careful. Yeah,
you have to save a lot to make 2. You have to save so much because it's going to be about 1:15. Maybe you do have to splash and dash at the end if we stay green again. I actually don't know how you can do that.
Yeah, I don't know if you could do it in less than 2. I really don't.
I think you might need 3. That's what I'm thinking.
So Liam will get the wave around. He will rejoin the tail end of the field. Joining him on the wave around will be James Watson, who is 10 laps down. And they will join the back of the pack. And you can still see a little damage on Watson's side pod. So he's obviously going to be down on speed because a lot of drag has been added to his car. Clindy picks up the lead and off of pit road and will pick up the lead of the race. Liam O'Sullivan will come all the way around and he will restart this on the timing tree. He's in 15th position, but he'll be a little bit further back than that on this restart with lap traffic involved. So he's going to have to fight his way forward.
I actually do think I think O'Sullivan is actually not behind any lapped cars, but he will be fit, because if I look at the car ahead, that's Viola's. They were the only 2 lapped cars that are actually on the track, other than Watson, who's behind. He's okay in that regard. I think it's just he needs to be patient. He knows he's fast. We've seen people go from the back to the front. I think he just needs to play the long game here.
Yeah, still plenty of time. No reason to panic. Maybe bullet dodged here in the Wild West. But we're going to go green this time with the lights out on the pace car. Clindy decides to defend the bottom on the restart. Julien right there, Strauss in 3rd, Vogelzang in 4th, and Julien. Actually, Clindy brings him down really slow and waits till they get to the restart zone to hear him go green and packs up the entire field. That's his right, that's his call. Sun is starting to get behind the stands now. In fact, I think the backstretch is completely under shade now.
Kind of dropping on the top big time. Going quite slow. Bold movements up front. So we've seen Clemworth lead stints before. He doesn't end up staying leading them. But now time's starting to run down. We're past halfway. I wonder if the racing mentality is going to change in any way for any of these drivers.
Lindy knows. Oh, Julien, contact! Contact! Wheel-to-wheel contact! That is with Katie Pollock.
It's bad in the back.
Here's Christensen again. We're still green, but big contact with Julien Altena.
I think we get away with that green. Pollock has had some horrible luck on ovals, and I don't think she's going to be happy with losing out another one. We need to go back slightly
go back a little bit further than that, yeah.
There. Because the race
the inside, dirty
so
air,
well.
Just dirty air. Caution, there's the caution.
We are yellow, we'll review that one. But there's Pollock going back, and John Christensen just sort of clips that badly. Now she's down and out. Now, I don't think there's another incident. I think this just lasts long enough that one of the 2 are going to trigger the automatic yellow. I don't see evidence that there's like another big 3rd crash. But someone might cross up onto the track surface or stop or go sideways. Christensen toes. She toes, and it might be around roughly when they were going to get past. That car stopping actually did it.
Right, wow. All right, so there's your pucker moment. Now each one of the points leaders have had dodged a bullet. One with a caution. That is our points leader, Liam O'Sullivan. Now our second in points, Julien Altena, with contact with Katie Pollock right around the tri-oval area. And that could have ended disastrously and actually ended his day and really just promptly ended this championship. There still is... No, really there isn't. The championship is pretty much decided based upon the retirements we have. Only thing that could do is make the championship closer. I do think Liam has this thing clinched up now because of the retirements we have. I think the only question really now is can Liam win the Triple Crown?
Most of everyone taking fuel. I think it's going to take it on every stop because, as I mentioned, like the two-stop wasn't really possible. You might be able to make it happen now if you stop. Yeah, a couple have stayed out. Strauss, Vogelsang, and Vinci are staying out.
Strauss stayed out in that first caution, if you remember. I think he stayed out. I think he stayed out with Kinder and showed that, slightly older tires, not completely new. We're only 7 laps into a stint on these tires. There are tire limits, but they have plenty of tires. There's 8 tires in the pits. They started with 1 on the car and 8 in the pits. So total of 9 sets. But at this point, Strauss kind of doesn't really have a reason to go down pit road because, especially with the sun going down, the track temp is coming down. I'll give you an update on here in a second. 7-lap-old tires aren't going to be too much different than brand spanking new tires right now.
You'll hit the bad point just that little bit sooner, but
yeah. Ambient is still 88. Track temp down to 90 though. As
now
the sun is starting to set.
13 alive on the track. So we've lost 10 over race distance.
So the worst, if anything should happen, the worst to Liam O'Sullivan, who's now back up in 6th. The worst that could happen to him if he DNFs is, I believe, 13th. Unless one of the cars later on in the that's on pit road getting repairs decides to come out and do some laps. I don't think, as a team decision, they'll send Christensen out to get repaired and make laps. I would imagine they want him to stay there, so Liam never goes less than 13th.
One more reset of the field. Quite a few cautions here today. Most of them not from the pack racing, though. They've been when we've gotten later in a run and there's been a little mistake. That one was quite early. Now trying to work out some of these field stints. I mean, you could make it 55 each if you saved a lot under the caution and then keep saving. You could maybe if your whisper knows how to make that come alive.
And I've lost track of the cautions. This might be our 5th caution or 4th caution.
I usually miscount by 1, and I've counted 4, and I miscount by 1.
Okay. All right, so I have 4 tallies here. Getting ready to go green. Strauss, Vogelsang, Vinci, Klindy, Stellard. Top 3 did not stop. $111 to go. Still lots of racing in the finale here at Las Vegas. 2 cars have been up front much of the day, and a new car joining the battle. Andreas Vinci in P3.
Mostly clean running from the field. Bit of a change up front, though, in terms of our drivers. Not really seen Vogelsang lead this race so far. I think everyone who survives is getting their chance at the top of the mountain. Bit of weaving from Strauss trying to break toe already. He ducks himself back down to the bottom just in time, though.
Vogelsang would show a lot of racing diversity if he can get a win here. We know he does well on the road courses. We saw him get a podium at St. Pete in one of the sprint races. He's had strong races all season long. Would like to get a win and say, hey, I can do well on road courses, and I also do well and win on ovals. Strauss, it's been a bit of a dry spell for him. He would like to get another win here in the series. Vinci has no wins in the series. Klindy, former series champion, would just like to get his first win of the season. Muriani in 5th. He's still hanging tough. Liam O'Sullivan underneath him. Hey, if you're just joining us, this is Velocity Online Racing's coverage of Championship Saturday for Season 15 of the VOR IndyCar Championship, coming to you from Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the inaugural, actually, this is not the inaugural running, this is the 3rd running of the VOR Las Vegas 400. We've now completed, well, we got 107 laps to go. 267 laps were scheduled. Make sure to smash that like button. Make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss it on the next race. Next race for the channel here will be next Saturday, round 5 of the official iRacing Indy Next Series from Long Beach, with coverage sponsored by iCoaching.co. Start time 3:05 p.m. Eastern Time. It's right here on the Velocity Online Racing channel.
Been a few laps led
Everyone
here,
showed a lot of patience. Yeah,
patience
leaders. You got a lot of patience, everybody. I think they realize there's no place to go when you get to the front. I mean, everyone needs to stop again. For sure, needs to stop again.
So we're taking it slow.
Yeah, I don't. Viola's making a shot here on Stellard. I just don't see a lot of racing in this stint. Everyone just might want to keep it clean and green and set up for the sprint to the end.
How many more of those stats do you have? I mean, you're going to need to get them ready.
And as the championship goes, Julien has finished on the podium 12 times out of the last 15 seasons on the podium. That's either second or third. And 9 seasons in a row, he's either finished second or third. And it looks like one more season. I don't want to say a futility for Julien, because this is your league, and you don't always want to win your league. But the last time Julien won a championship in the VOR IndyCar Championship, he won in the iconic level, which was the old DW12 series that we used to run here, that we might see back someday. And that's also where Liam O'Sullivan won a championship. That and then the Global IndyCar Challenge. But Julien won championships in Season 1 and Season 2, and since then has been shut out of getting that cup again. All the while, still finishing on the podium over the last 9 seasons as he slides up behind Miriani. So another season of near futility, I guess. We'll just say that. What will Season 16 bring the admin here? Another podium finish? Or that championship and ending that championship drought? But Liam O'Sullivan looking at getting his first championship here in the IndyCar Championship Series. He will join names such as Luis Nunez, Kyle Klindworth, Jesper Orman, Bruno Miranda, Matthias Kraus, Mark Murphy, Alex Van de Sant, Isaac Morris as former champions. And then the hard job, the very hard job, is repeating. There's only been repeat champions twice in Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship history. Season 1, Season 2 with Julien, and Season 4, 5, and 6, Alex Van de Sant won back-to-back there. There have been repeat winners, but not back-to-back winners. Jesper Orman won in Season 7 and Season 12. Bruno Miranda won in Season 8 and Season 11. Never any back-to-backs.
A very bad lap because he was 0.24 seconds back just not too long ago, and now he's going to cross the line.
I think he's on his pace. I don't know if it's a bad lap or just on his pace.
I don't know if something happened. I want to look. I'm going to look.
We got time. I don't think much racing is going to happen in this stint.
Oh, you know what happened? I think he passed someone, and so the gap looked bigger. He passed someone, and so, actually he's been running pretty fast, but he was 2 tenths to P3, and I thought, 2 tenths off, that's a bit bad, and realized he passed P3, and now there's obviously a bigger gap to the next car. So, the maths work somehow. I promise I know what I'm doing half the time.
O'Sullivan around Vince. Vince back to 5th. O'Sullivan now up to 4th. And again, if he were to finish here, right in this position, he would clinch the championship for sure. Still a bit of a battle for 3rd in the championship. Amon Lal is 3rd in the championship, not in the lineup tonight. So that might open the door for Clindy to pick up 3rd in the championship. Yeah, I think Clindy will pick up 3rd in the championship. 16 points behind Lal, not in the lineup, so Clindy might. Let's see, look at that again. Lal, 61 points behind the lead. Oh, Julien, Clinty, 42 behind Lal. Yeah, he might get enough to beat Lal, or if not, come close. Hunter Ingrave not in the lineup. He's currently 5th in the points. John Christensen 6th in the points. His race, I believe, is done. No, he's still out there running down, or he might be extended the pit road right now, 22 laps down. Fraser Clegg, 7th in the points, not in the lineup. Ryan Fiolis in the lineup. He's at 8th. Strauss in 9th, currently up front. Roden Eftink is done. He is down in 10th. Started this race in 10th. With Andreas Vince. Vince will probably crack into the top 10 at the end of this. So a good campaign for Vince, cracking the top 10 very quietly. Anytime you can finish in the top 10, the VOR IndyCar Championship, you had yourself a solid season. Riding with Uriani.
A quiet run here. Certainly just, I think, drivers trying to hit their fuel numbers. And also, I wonder if the time of day has at all affected the way the track races. Don't know if it's gotten any cooler over time. Just a couple degrees, not a significant cooling off. But certainly, it feels like the rhythm of this race has changed quite a lot. And now, no one's really willing to go side by side.
Yeah, and that's, if you're watching this, this is the nature of IndyCar racing. A lot of times, a lot of these drivers, especially if you're very experienced in these IR18s, the first thing you think about when you get behind the wheel, and in fact, every race that I was in, as soon as you load onto the grid, engine map 8. And then the immediately thinking about ways of saving fuel and cutting off the final pit stop or making that final pit stop as short as possible. You don't really see that in a lot of other forms of auto racing. You don't see it with Formula One, where fuel's really not an issue. You don't really see that in stock car racing, where just everyone wants to get up there and beat and bang on one another. But IndyCar, the first thing virtually every driver thinks of if you're an experienced driver is, how can I save fuel? And right now we're in the middle of one of those stints that it makes no sense for these drivers to push. You still have to make a final pit stop. So let's line up, bring the car into that window to make that final pit stop nice and safe, get on pit road, avoid penalties, and let's race it out and see if we get a caution in that last stint. Let's race it out and see how well we do. But right now, it makes no sense for any of these drivers to really go racing. Although we're kind of, watching this up with Julien and Saucier, and a little bit further back, Muriani, Fiolis, and Vince kind of swapping positions a little bit. But you're not going to see a lot of racing, you're right, in this stint, because there's really no point to it.
You talk about fuel management. Well, the next iRacing Indy 500 is kind of just around the corner. Time catches up with you, and now it's a month away. I actually did win my last one, which means that I have the most horrible, like sort of rope around my neck here to try and recover, because you got to do it again now. I felt like I got pretty lucky the first time. Did very different on the pit strategy, so I had to stop under green regularly.
You got to think about how many drivers in the history of the real Indy 500 have won back-to-back, and that is a very small list. That's only 4 drivers. 4 drivers have won 4 times. 4 drivers have only won back-to-back races over the entire 110-plus race history of the Indy 500 in real life, so it's extremely rare. So to even do it in the virtual sense, it's going to be just as hard. Joseph Newgarden was the last one to do it. Before him was Elio Castroneves. Before him was Alancer Sr. back in 70 and 71. And then you had Ibuki way back in the 50s. And that's it. That is it. And for a lot of you who just happened to see one recently with Newgarden, and they're like, oh, that just happened a couple years ago. That was easy. It was more than 20 years difference between when Newgarden did it and when Castroneves did it in 2001 and 2002. So it does not happen. Well, if you ask Paul Tracy who won in 2002, he's going to say he did, and there's an argument there. But anyways, it doesn't happen very often. And just if it doesn't happen in real racing, it really shouldn't happen in the sim either. So best of luck. And really, I think Newgarden had a shot to go win 3 in a row if he didn't have that fuel pump problem last year. I thought that he really had a shot to go 3 in a row. We'll see. I think he's going to be a contender this year. But you know, if your luck falls your way and you got the master strategist calling shots for you, Howie, you could probably do it.
Thank you for the reassurance, though. Makes me feel better knowing that I'm not a total failure if I fail to do it twice. In fact, it's pretty extraordinary to do it twice. Yeah, that was, I literally, like, I didn't have the best posture, and I rested my left foot sort of above the brake pedal without letting my legs stretch out, and I had foot cramps for like 2 weeks after winning that. And it was worth it, and I think I'd do it again. Thankfully, like, we had like a last like 15 lap run to the line, and then the guy behind took some damage from the car battling for third, and I was like, okay, I just need to not wreck now. That felt great. I always stopped under green, though. I found that, like, no matter what, ignore the cautions, stopped under green, and then I'd cycle back out every single time the cautions happened, and then eventually it just made sense. So I might have to try that one again.
Yeah, Indy's so big that, watching Sullivan and Saucier grabs a little bit of the apron. That would have been dangerous. Apron is off limits, by the way. I don't think it's off limits in the white flag. You might have to back me up on that one or not. It's always off limits, so you can't use the... Now, if you go down there to avoid something, you can come back. You just can't improve your position. And he got down there and... Julien smacks the wall corner. And we are 34 laps into the run. Strauss and Vogelsang up front, they are 41 laps. They're going to have to come to pit road sooner rather than later. And again, why you don't see them racing is they all know that Strauss and Vogelsang have to come to pit road here very shortly. So why race harder when you can race smarter? These two guys are going to get out of the way. Clindy just hanging out. Clindy is saving every bit of fuel back here in third. And then pretty soon he's going to pick up the lead, and he's going to be punching the hole in the air then over everybody. But you're talking about the fixed Indy 500 coming up here in the, I think it's the second week in May. And we will have one of the top split races over on P1, probably the Friday 9 p.m. Eastern top split race. And we've been covering at least one top split race every year for the last couple of years that we've been able to stream. So check us out over on P1, and we'll also have one of the open races. If you go to our channel, we already have those placeholders up, so you can set a reminder. But tentatively scheduled, I believe. We don't know what the official Indy 500 schedule will be, but one of the sessions normally is Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. And looking forward to that. My one and only fixed 500 that I raced in, finished fourth. Had a shot at third with about 2 laps to go. And I got underneath the guy in third, and the guys in front of me were racing, and I caught dirty air, and I felt that push. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not wrecking here. I'm not within sight of 500 miles and getting the top 5 in my first ever race. I backed out of it, just got in line, and finished my race out. But I finished fourth. Felt good. Felt good.
I mean, my I ratings climbed since that 500 win, so now I'm going to have to do it just that little bit more. But it's tiring. It's a long one. At least I do better there than I do at Daytona when it's 500 miles. I certainly do better at Indy. I actually won my open race. I struggled on the fix quite a lot, took wall damage, just sort of plowed for the rest of the race. Whereas in open, I found a setup that absolutely worked for me and just felt like magic throughout the whole run. And that was a whole lot of fun. You've got to run a lot more weight jacket than you think around there. So here's our closest battle. It's Mariani still running side by side with Fiolis. Vince's just sort of in tow in case. It's just sort of like our battles for the lead a lot earlier, but just that further bit back as our top 6 sort of show no signs of going side by side. Mariani's enjoying the top here now.
Top 6, though, have pulled away for about 5 seconds over this battle that you're watching here. So this side-by-side battling is actually costing them a shot here for the win. Now they can... If we get to green flag pit stops, they might be able to close the gap a little bit by hitting pit road rather as hard as they possibly can. Or they're going to really need a late caution here to really close the gap. You would think 5 seconds is doable. In IndyCar, 5 seconds might as well be 5 miles.
Like, you're pretty much running as close to flat out as you can around here, so it's not like you can do too much to improve your long run pace if you're running a certain way. Now, I say this as someone that isn't always the fastest in my lobbies. There are people that work out how to be faster, but especially on a track like this where you pretty much just lift just to make the turn, but otherwise we're running nearly flat out throughout. Your pace is much more a result of the way you've used your tyres and fuel throughout the run at this stage. At this stage, it's like if you've bullied your right front early, yeah, you're falling back, but you are just not making that distance up. There's nothing you can do about it. You're just running too quickly.
Yeah, we're watching here from Vince's point of view.
Ballard.
He's cracking just a little bit. Stellar sends it to the high side, but he's just cracking the throttle just a little bit to settle the car down. You would think with all the downforce, even in the Speedway trim, you would think with all the downforce that these have and the 24-degree of banking, I think this has progressive banking, so it actually gets steeper as you go to the top. Caution on the racetrack.
Strauss.
This Strauss, one of the leaders. Now, was he coming to pit road?
Work out what happened. I think he would have done this to himself. We're about the length in the run. Oh no, he was coming to pit road.
To pit road. He's coming to pit road.
Oh.
And this is, you know, he's just trying to do it as hot as possible. And
Dan Edge with the avoidance there, by the way. I'm going to have to watch Edge's on board.
Woo.
Dan Edge comes up to this like a speeding bullet and almost dies, but doesn't. We'll keep an eye on it here. Slippity. He's moving up the track well, but that's scary. That's a really scary move. So, I mean, green flag pit stops are the bane in this field right now. That's a really, really bad time.
Well, and the guys that were in that group that we were just watching needed this caution. I was saying it. So, but we're going to come to pit road. They're going to have to stop again. I mean, there's 69 to go. And I know what everyone's thinking at home. Clendy just got rammed into, and his back wing is forgiven and has snapped back into place, but there still might be damage unseen as Saucier hounds him.
This is silly. Oh, someone is calling rear wing damage. Oh, there was confusion about passing the pace car. Glenworth slows down because he didn't actually quite know whether the pace car was going to get past. Saucier's not ready for it. I mean, that is brutal. We may have got inconsistent calls. Sullivan's called rear wing damage on him, though. I mean, still you can't accelerate into another car like that, you know?
Right. It snapped back into place on my screen. Looks like it did for you. So it looks like the racing gods forgave him.
I mean,
he did have a 23-second pit stop, so he might have had some damage unseen. He's going to really have to find out when that car comes up to speed as he turns it into turns one. I don't think well, we'll see. Turn one might actually be an adventure. It's really going to be turn three or turn one at full speed, and the back end snaps around when that rear wing is just not as robust as it used to be.
I wonder if maybe there's
this might help Clinty also. He's going to come to pit road again and top off and add a few more ounces to his car.
Or maybe that he just had to repair. No, does come. I think he had to drop back. He lost quite a few places and maybe was just being told to let cars through. So you're talking about the fuel strategy is spot on in the sense that we can't make it to the end now. Nobody can. No. But when do you make the stop? Like, do you run as long as you can? Do you split it 50-50?
Well, I wish Luis Gonzalez Nunez was in the booth with me, because I would ask him and he would always say, go to the end. But I've also heard him say, just do it 50-50 at 30 or so to go. Come to pit road for your final stop. And it's going to be very quick because you won't be putting as much fuel in, and it's just fast enough to throw in new sets of tires. So I think the play here, if I was driving, is I would split this in half. I would just come in with 30-ish to go, and it's a light fill. It's a quick fill, and a new set of tires, and I should be in and out of my box in about 5 seconds or so.
Kyle does not sound like he knows whether his car is good. There were repairs. There might have been a bit of like dents to the rear wing. You can take damage to the thing without losing it entirely. That might be what was spotted. I mean, you can only find out under load into turn one, unfortunately. You actually just cannot know the scale of the damage. He did spend longer in that box. Ready to go green. One stop to go.
I will ride with him. You keep the camera on him. I will ride with him. He's gingerly bringing that car up the pace. He's already around a couple. We're watching the leaders.
Well, he did make it through the turns, but I don't know if he's got all his pace in him. We'll see over the next few laps, but that car is making it around the track.
Big lift for him in 3 and 4. I think he's just feeling it out. A lot of traffic in front of him as well. Do we do a big lift in 1 and 2? Yep. He might have dodged a bullet. It looks like he's okay. Liam O'Sullivan to the point. Vogelzang second, Altena third. Muriani back up to fourth, Fiolis in fifth. Fiolis part of that group that needed that caution. They got it. Here they are. They're up in this battle. So you got the opportunity. What do you do with it? So we restarted, I think, with 67 to go. So 33, 34, somewhere in there, I would probably come to pit road.
Close on the road, Altena on the high side. I'm looking out for him because he's doing something different. Clemworth's fighting again. I don't think he's lost too much pace in that at all. I think he wanted to feel out the car, but now he's going to take Altena on the bottom. And I think he's fighting for him, ready to move, ready to go. Very lucky, but good for him because that was a very unfortunate moment trying to get to the bottom of Muriani. There's a little bit of space there. He's got fresh tyres. He knows that ploughing isn't really going to happen to him, so he does have the run. He's going to chase down a race win, I think, now.
Well, he is running in the draft. He is have the draft assist. Now, how does that car react when it gets in clean air? And again, there is no point in saving. Oh, well, there you go. There's an answer to your question. Purple lap that time by Kyle Clinworth, 221.194 miles per hour. I don't think that car is any worse for wear. It might have the old Jacob Oster approach done to it. Just, smack, do a tank slap or smack the wheels in, make it a little bit narrower, and all of a sudden becomes faster.
And now's the time where you got to push. 1 stop, 2 short stints. Now, you're not playing a single file game waiting for the laps to come to you. If you want that P1, you're going to have to earn it. High side's going to be hard to do it, though. O'Sullivan still hugs that bottom pretty nice and cleanly, and he's got no incentive to go anywhere at all. You get a good run on the tri-oval ducking behind him, and you're sort of stuck on this higher side. It's not a total disaster. I reckon Kyle's going to have a good run entering the back straight. The run's actually too good for him stuck behind O'Sullivan one last time. So he's going to keep hanging up top. Look out for Vogelzang, because he's next one on the bottom.
So what he'll do, when he gets behind, if he does get behind Liam, is he will hit the regen. Now he can't, the door's closed on him. Vogelzang's too close to try to slide down. In the draft, you could regen a lot easier. If you regen without the draft, adds drag. .58 coming to 57 to go. Everyone now 11 laps into this stint after coming to pit road of that last caution. Either our 5th or 6th caution of the day. Not unheard of. We have a caution-free race here in the past. However, the first race we did here back in 2021, we did have 6 cautions for 24 laps. And one of those saved Julien and my butt. We were able to get up to the front. Speaking of Julien, there he is in the blue car, way up top.
I think Carl's where he wants to be right now. I think if as long as he's up here, you can maybe get like a place or two, but he's in the right place. He might be able to just play the strategy game right to win this with one more stop to go if we stay green the whole way. What we're not going to, thing is, if we split this in half, we're not going to hit critical mass on those tyres where they start sliding around or ploughing too much. They're going to be a little bit warm by halfway through the run, but you're just going to take it, move on, and although we've yet to see Now, we have seen someone make a green flag pit stop because Fiolas would have done it earlier on in the race, if I'm not wrong. But in general...
Liam, yep.
In general, most people have suffered whenever they've tried.
Yeah, Liam came to pit road under a green flag pit stop. Matthias was about to, and he brought out the caution when he spun on the apron. So that's one thing that's going to through all these drivers' minds, especially Matthias, is now he goes, well, if we're going to do another green flag pit stop before this run, a good chance at, oh, never mind, car spinning, down low, that's Saucier, and that is the caution, and that is going to, whoa, we're at 53 to go.
I think with saving, we make it. I think with a fuel map, you make it now to the end on a sprint.
Well, if they come to pit road, I think if they come to pit road and top off,
yeah,
I think they do make it.
I think that's a guarantee they're going to do it, though. Bit unusual to lose it there like that. Got to see the onboard to really work out quite how he did it. I think maybe he just bites off a bit too much. Now, that car loses itself again early in the stint. Good to keep it out of the walls. He's very lucky to stay in this race, and we are going to see the whole field come to pit road now. I think that they can now zero stop this to the end. And then we have a chase, and it's going to be one of the most intense ways to end this season, I think.
He might have grabbed a little bit of the apron. I don't know. It doesn't. He might have clipped the paint there a little bit. I don't know. It just. He's had bad luck in the trial. He'll want to get out of here, but he's survived another incident. I don't know what his, he's up to 11 incidents this race, so he might just want to get out of here. But everyone coming to pit road, and this should be final stops, and this might be for the remainder of this stint. Gloves off. This also might be Howie. Also, something to mention for Clindy, who we've seen through these runs manage these tires slightly better than everyone else. A tire management run here, being at 53 laps.
Yes, it's going to. Yes, maintaining by the end is going to give you a lot of pace, I think. Very true. What a slide there into the box from Stallard. Clindy leads.
Beats out Liam.
He spent 5.2 in the box. I think he's dodged tires.
I don't think Clindy went up on the jacks.
I think Clindy has avoided tires. He slides in, not up on the jacks at all. And he's playing the game of track position to win.
Yeah, he doesn't go up on the jacks at all, so no new Firestones. In fact, limits the wheel spin coming out of the box, realizing that what he's on, he's going to have to sleep in that bed. He's made it now. And let's look at the conditions. Again, the sun has gone down. The lights are on. 87 on the ambient. So we're down 1 degree ambient, 87 Fahrenheit, 90 on the track temperature. So we've been hovering right around 90 Fahrenheit on the track temp all race long. It should come down a little bit more in this stint. It should, but not much more than a degree or so. He's banking on tire deg being less than, he might also be banking on a possible another caution before this is up and everyone comes to pit road and throws on another set of tires. Remember, we do have tire limits here, and he did not dip into that tire pool.
I don't think there's been enough cautions to use 8, given also people, would not have. So I don't think the limit's an issue. I think he's played track position here because he's seen how this race has developed, hold that bottom line, and potentially make it hard for people to pass you. The first few laps are always a struggle that you can get passed on, but if you can hold that bottom, you might be in for something good.
If you're just joining us, you're watching Velocity Online Racing's coverage of round 11 of 11. It's Championship Saturday of the VOR IndyCar Series. Championship coming to you from Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the third running of the Las Vegas 400. We're currently, Kyle Glenworth leads with 50 to go. Make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next race. The next race for the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship. It's all tentatively scheduled for Saturday, August 1st, 2026 at 2 p.m. Eastern Time for round 1 of season 16 as we start the championship from St. Petersburg. Join us a little less than 4 months when we start this all over again for season 16 right here on the Velocity Online Racing channel. Green flag getting ready to come out. It is Clindy, your defending series champion. O'Sullivan, who is looking to gain the championship at the end of this race. Vogelzang, Strauss, Altena, your top 5. Here we go, hopefully for the final stint of the race and season. Vogelzang to the point.
Dive around the outside, beats Clendy, beats Altena, and Strauss is looking fast as well. Still in this with a chance. Glenworth's been absolutely beaten to the start of this race. You're going to have to check if Vogelzang's won a race before in this series.
He has not, but it's possible that Clendy's doing the math and going, even at 50 laps, it's going to be pretty close. Maybe I need to save a little bit. So he's going to fall back behind, let Vogelzang be the hare, and he'll be a bit of a hound. And he'll get back in line and try to save some fuel if he needs another lap or so, and then attack. But it's a very risky proposition because then you're giving the bottom of the racetrack to Vogelzang.
The sprint race now, pretty much. It's a one-stint run to the end, to the top, almost free wide. I don't quite think that counts as free wide, but Strauss wants to try and make it so. Kyle Glenworth wants this a lot. He hasn't had the season he had last time, but he would stop at nothing to win that season finale at a classic track that everybody knows around here. O'Sullivan's mired here. Strauss is blocking him in the way, jumps to the top line, still not quite make it alongside. So he's stuck with Altena. They might have to work together to piece their way through this. This is going to be a very lap-to-lap game.
Well, I'm going to actually throw a little bit of advantage to Clindy, to Stellard, up in the top 10 here. These two are guys that race in the top splits that we have in the IndyCar community, and they were at Vegas this week. They just happened to be Vegas this week for the IndyCar schedule. Those are 75-lap races, so they are used to doing hard. Basically, they're like mini sprints. There's like one pit stop involved, but they're used to doing mini sprints, so they're used to running 50 laps pretty hard here at this racetrack. Now, granted, the conditions are a little bit different. Maybe the setup's a little bit different, but they have experience here, so that matters. Remember, I keep saying with this car, iron sharpens iron. The more you put into this car, the more you get out of it. Could the advantage fall to Clindy and Stellard with that top split advantage we see on Tuesday nights over on P1? But right now, Vogelzang running the bottom. Now, Vogelzang is in his 12th start here today in the VOR IndyCar Championship. No wins, 5 top 5, 7 top 10s. Could this be win number 1 for him? Clindy in his 20th start, 3 wins, 1 championship, 8 top 5s, 12 top 10s. And Strauss in his 85th career start, 1 win, 19 top 5s, 42 top 10s. He would like to join that win of more than 1 win here. That fraternity of more than one-time winners. I'm in that one-time winner fraternity. There's a lot of us, but there's even fewer of us in the multi-win category. So if he could join that, he'll join some rarefied air here in the series with 2 wins or more.
Vogelzang holding this, but there's no real time to back up and be conservative about it. Stellard really wanted to go below them both. He's now a factor in this, that orange car glowing under the lights of Las Vegas. O'Sullivan's sort of back in it. It's Strauss that's now backed out of it. Here comes Stellard, goes up high.
We're going to grab the racetrack. We're going to wreck. He goes. He loses it in the tri-oval area unexpectedly, and we're under caution. And one of the guys I set the watch is involved and takes out Miriani, I believe. Fiolis involved as well.
Oh, he's too low. He takes the apron. And that is the end of that. For Kyle
So there's
Glenworth.
definitely no fuel save. And there you see him, and I talked about this, you hook the apron, it will unload the back end of the car.
Altena got a meatball from this. There's Glenworth, just took the line.
It looked like he missed Julien.
He's got the flag. How did he get tagged here?
it had to be netcode behind him. I don't.
Let's slow it.
I mean, from the replay, he is missed. But
what happened? Don't see it.
It's sliced behind him.
He's lost his left rear, he claims. I should be able to zoom in big time here. So it would have been... That is a netcode hit, as they say. Brutal. Because the car still moves, but iRacing's going to require you to get repairs, and that's all she wrote.
And that I'm wondering if that's retirement for Julien Altena.
He's asked how long it takes to repair. Could be fixable.
He's on pit road. He's down off the jacks. So the regular service is done on pit road as the virtual mechanics go to work on his Dallara. So now this is Vogelzang. He stays out. Stellard stays out. Liam O'Sullivan comes to pit road, I believe, and he is going to throw on new tires. Strauss is going to throw on new tires. Saucier also as well. Vinci, Stock, Inch, Dufresne, Fiolis. That is your top 10. A lot of names, Howie, that we don't see in the top 10 are now appearing in the top 10. Different names. And again, these are new names in the top 10 that you might be running, that, Liam O'Sullivan, Milan Vogelzang, who are, the top 5 in points, top 10 in points, maybe not have raced all season long. And now they have an opportunity with 38 to go here in the closing stages, seeing a possibility of a victory on the horizon.
Stallard, Sullivan's still in this, but I mean, we're just losing more competitors at the top. They're being cut down like the Grim Reaper. 10 left in this race. A top 10 to sprint to the end.
Yeah, Julien on pit road, virtually a retirement. We're going to go ahead and, everything is unofficial, of course, but unofficially we'll just say Liam O'Sullivan has done everything he needed to do to clinch the championship at this point. He will, at this point, finish ahead of Julien, regardless of if another lap is turned right now. And that will basically stop the math and clinch the championship for Liam O'Sullivan, your season 15 champion. And unfortunately, Julien, for another season, will finish on the podium for the 9th consecutive season. He will have to wait for season 16 to break that streak. We're going to go green this time by. Vogelzang and Stellard stayed out with those used tires. Now, did used tires play a role in what we saw with Clindy? We can't say yes, but we can't definitively say no either. Will we see a repeat of that with Vogelzang and Stellard? Did Liam O'Sullivan here with 37, coming to 36 laps to go, stopping on pit road and throwing on a new set of tires, put himself in position to win that final crown jewel of the Triple Crown here in the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship? We shall see. Here's a big jump. Stellard to the inside. He's going to get bypassed by Sullivan. Sullivan with those new tires on by 3 wide. Saucier up top. Strauss in the middle. Stellard down on the bottom. Battle for third. Coming off of 2. Here comes Liam O'Sullivan with those new tires. Head of steam. Here we go.
If he takes that lead and hugs the bottom, he could wrap this up, but he's not clear yet. Vogelzang holding on for dear life.
Vogelzang clips a little bit of the apron.
I think Stallard's going to be the one that's more likely to get something done out of this if Vogelzang leads a gap.
Liam wants to close the door, and he is just not clear. He came down a little bit. They bang wheels off of 2 down the backstretch. Here comes Strauss to the outside. A little bit of interrupted momentum is going to allow the third lane up top to get back in this thing. Here comes the momentum back full force, though, and it's going to be Vogelzang at the line this time by.
5 are in this, I think. I don't know if Vinci could catch in time, but right now he's not quite there. That bottom is proving absolutely dominant for Vogelsang. It's going to make it very hard for Sullivan to run, but it's going to be perpetual free wide now for as long as these drivers could muster on the track, just because of how tight we're running. And how there's nothing to preserve. You just want that track position, and how are you going to take it from him? Out of his cold dead hands?
Here we go again into turns 3 and 4. Strauss in the battle now. Get off the corner this time. Down the backstretch once more. Saucier now up top, just kind of observing what's going on in front of him. Stellard holding on the bottom. I think the bottom is the place to go. Oh, big fade up top. I think he goes to the top, goes to the bottom, gets a little bit of momentum. Liam O'Sullivan trying to go for a run, maybe a little hybrid enabling going down the backstretch. Stellard's just going to stay on the bottom and follow Vogelsang. That is the move.
This is one of the most stressful race finishes we're going to have to call here for this entire season. I don't think anyone is quite going to get away from this. It's full push, no strategy, and it's leading to pretty much no one being able to get away in any way. And that includes Vogelsang, when no one's able to get past him. You're seeing now Stellard's almost making the contact. You just think every time someone makes a move, it could end in absolute disaster. It's incredible.
Stellard in his 4th career start as Julien's rolling off a pit road, so he'll be finishing this race under power. Stellard in his 4th career start looking for his first top 5 or top 10. He's in a running for the win right now. Saucier in his 12th career start, just like Vogelsang. He's looking for his first top 5, actually second top 5 and the 5th top 10 and his first career win. Strauss, Vogelsang, Saucier, Stellard, only one win of this group. And then you have the champion looking for the Triple Crown, Liam O'Sullivan up there. It's like the old Sesame Street. One of these things is not like the other skits.
We could see.
Oh, does the same thing again! And Vogelsang goes around and it's going to bring out the caution as he grabs the apron. No caution yet.
Not quite the caution. He kept it pointed forwards by the time he rejoined the track. But it's more of what we talked about with that white line. It's exactly what happened to Clenworth. I've lost races here doing this. Just taking a bit too much on that tri-oval. And it seems like it just does not play well with any car when you do that. So, now... if you have a stock car, they have a little bit more play of the shocks. Indy cars, they don't do that. And Ness unloads the car just like you saw. And again, he had older tires. And so, again, much like we saw with Clinton, the same thing repeat itself, except no caution. So now this battle is down to the top 5 now of O'Sullivan, Saucier, Stellard, Strauss, and now Vinci creeping into the picture. I think we might get a repeat of what we saw earlier, though, in this run. I think if O'Sullivan can wrap the bot without wrecking the car, I don't know if he'll be competed with. Interestingly, just before that spin, there was a bit of a drag race to the line. O'Sullivan on the outside, I think, actually had it on the line, which proves that if you can get a good run, you know, on that checkered flag, all that's going to matter is which car is just a little bit ahead. Bit of a wobble for O'Sullivan on exit. He has to be careful.
Yeah, if, again, working the bottom is a blessing and the curse. You will get the car, you will wear the tires out down there, you will actually pinch yourself. He really needs to kind of come up off the bottom by about a half lane, but he is, again, they have the 24-hour marriage chapels here in Vegas. He might want to take that white line out to one of those chapels because he is pretty much married to it right now. He is not coming off that white line at all. You can have a marriage to the white line and have Elvis officiate it. 22 to go.
It's becoming the white line Olympics around here. Saucier is sort of washing up on the corner exit. I guess the next best place to run is high, even if it's not been incredibly useful. It's better than the alternative of just potentially rear-ending the guy.
Stock, Inch, and Dufresne just in the back of this picture. If there's just a little bit of a checkup, or if they're managing their tires a little bit better back there. Fiola, same thing. This might be a 9-car battle at the end. Throw a blanket over them. And Saucier trying just to get a little bit of a run. I don't know if that high line's going to come in. What he could do in that draft. Oh, there he goes side by side into the corner. In that draft, he could recharge that hybrid and not lose pace. And that's probably what he's trying to do. And then he's trying to deploy that hybrid to make the pass. But the problem is the hybrid is only good for about a 1.5-second burst before you have to get back and recharge it. It's not like push to pass when you're on the button. Julien with the red mist purple lap, 2:22.1.
If you look back at last lap, though, you'll find Saucier, he did deploy the hybrid, and he was ahead on the line by quite a margin. So he might be practicing out how to win this. Doesn't matter how many laps you lead. It matters who's ahead across the finish line. You could drag race this if you hybrid well.
Hey, ask, not to throw a bad name here while we're at Vegas, but ask Dan Weldon. It doesn't matter if you lead all the laps of the race. It only matters what you lead coming to the checkered flag, and that one lap he led at Indianapolis won him an Indy 500. And you're absolutely correct that you leading now makes no point, but it's a good test to where the car ends at the end of lap 267 and 400 miles. 400.5 miles. Oh, big blink there by Strauss. He's back.
Maybe we'll get a front row seat upon Stallard's car. We'll get a better one upon Strauss, but if he blinks out, we're going to lose all sight of this world. He's sort of sitting in the middle. Don't think he's really a part of this unless something crazy happens up here, but I'm just sort of watching how Saucier chooses to run the turns. He just wants to just repeatedly get runs and runs and runs, exiting the turn, and don't even try and hope and clearing them now, but you can see how he runs really close to getting that win on the line. 15 to go now. Only 6 more minutes of high-speed action at Vegas. Which is good, because actually the lobby is 20 minutes from timing out. So we better not wreck lots of times.
I don't also want to jinx our champion now, who is leading this race. But one time in the over 100-plus years of sanctioned IndyCar racing, that's AAA, that's USAC, that's CART, that's Champ Car World Series, that's IRL, that's IndyCar. Over 100 years, I can't tell you how many different winners and how many different races there have been. But only one driver in the entire 100-plus year history of IndyCar racing and real-world IndyCar racing has ever won the Triple Crown. Allenser Sr. back in 1978 won at Indianapolis, Pocono, and Ontario. He's the only driver. There's been 2 drivers that have come close. Rick Mears has come close. Gordon Johncock has come close. They have won 2/3 of the crown jewel, but never completed the crown jewel. Currently, there is no crown jewel in IndyCar racing right now. There's only one 500-mile race. It is the Indy 500. There's never been a Triple Crown winner here in the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship, going back now 15 seasons. There have been drivers that have come close. Liam O'Sullivan, he's obviously close right now. Clindy's come close. Jesper Dahlgren has come close. Alex Van de Sande has come close. A number of other drivers have come close, but have not. Craig Forsyth has come close, but have not gotten that 3rd crown jewel win. We are now 11 laps away from Liam O'Sullivan not only clinching the championship and walking away with season 15 championship, but the first driver ever in the history of the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship to win the Triple Crown. And I've done a lot of leagues. I've done many races and streaming, and mostly a lot of IndyCar. We have not had an IndyCar winner in the Indy Fix Series win the Triple Crown, not the Oval Series win the Triple Crown. In leagues that I've been in, we've not had drivers win the Triple Crown. This might be a possible witnessing of a rare feat in league and IndyCar racing period history here of a driver winning the Triple Crown. That's Auto Club Indianapolis and Las Vegas this season. Remember, he won the 500, had a steward awarded win at Auto Club. It was actually Jesper Dahlgren took the checker flag, but the stewards gave him a penalty, gave the win to Liam. So Triple Crown with an asterisk, but it's still a Triple Crown. 9 to go. Can he get that Triple Crown?
Don't jinx him. You know, that white line loves eating IndyCar suspension. I think we've found it's got a call and avoid down there. Be careful. Right now he's in control.
Getting ready to witness and call something that not even Bob Jenkins has called. Bob Jenkins actually called a $1 million winner in NASCAR, but Bob Jenkins never called a Triple Crown race. Paul Page never called a Triple Crown race. Will Buxton will never call a Triple Crown race. We're getting ready to call a Triple Crown race winner here. We will never get that is so rare.
And it's only a few laps away. It's only a few minutes away. It will be a race for P2 as well. Strauss and Saucier. Strauss seems to be struggling. Moved up the track quite a bit. Got past Saucier for a bit. Saucier's going to need a clear run if he wants to challenge this on a drag race to the line. He needs to not be threatened, not be disturbed by others. It is not impossible for him to drag race this one on the line. We've seen him win over the line several times, have more momentum. But also, O'Sullivan's thinking about the same thing. He's thinking, I have to run a line and run my hybrid to do this. He's had a very good run down the straight, actually. He's almost completely ahead. Will O'Sullivan pull out just enough?
Yeah.
Saucier
led at the line that time by. 5 to go. He's starting to go down and pinch a little bit. Liam O'Sullivan wants a little space. Here comes John Stellard. He's going to try to thread the needle. Those two guys cannot afford to race each other very hard. That's exactly what Liam wants to see. 4 laps to go in the season and 4 laps to history. Here we go.
Both drivers are almost playing chess with each other right now in terms of how they want to time this, how they want to time their big push. Saucier has proven he can get... Is he going to try? And I think it would be a mistake to try and clear O'Sullivan down this back straight. But if
yes,
he just
I think you're right.
saves everything he has, he's proven he can do it on the line. But also O'Sullivan is going to react. He's seen Saucier able to beat him on the line a few times. What is he saving in the tank to make this happen on the last lap?
Big run by all the second, third, and fourth down the backstretch. We're going to pull alongside, coming to 2 to go at the line. Stellard back, that red car down at the bottom. The red and black car up top is Strauss. The white and blue car. Second place, that's Saucier. Your leader is the navy and blue car. As Strauss blinks, Stellard. 2 to go.
Stellard's in this. He's decided to make this his problem.
Down to the white line, Viva Las Vegas. Stellard washes up. That's going to allow a little bit of a pause for Saucier, gives a little bit of room for Liam O'Sullivan. White flag out. History on the line into turn 1. A Triple Crown on the line here at Las Vegas. And a championship win. Here comes Stellard down the backstretch. He's going to have a head full of steam. This is a last chance. He pulls out to the high side. He's going to deploy it wheel to wheel off the corner, looking for history, coming to the checkered flag, side by side at the line. Here's the winner. It is...
I think it's O'Sullivan.
Liam O'Sullivan secures the Triple Crown by 0.005 of a second.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised that O'Sullivan got that one done, but just that tiny, tiny bit when it mattered on the line, you can see it by eye, that inside line. Your champion, Liam O'Sullivan, makes history on the road as well. That's fantastic.
Wow. I think when Julien originally mentioned that the Triple Crown was on the line, I think he was playing a little bit of a psychological warfare. And Liam O'Sullivan accepted the challenge, took it, executed, and did what virtually no other driver, and certainly no other driver in the history of the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship, and no other driver outside of Al Unser Sr. in real IndyCar racing has ever done. Now, granted, Triple Crown in IndyCar racing is at more proper, 2.5 mile, 2 mile plus tracks. We kind of did it a little bit differently with a 2 mile Fontana, 2.5 mile Indianapolis, 1.5 mile Las Vegas. But still, you define a Triple Crown, you still have to win them. And that's exactly what Liam O'Sullivan did. And if you're ready, I'd be more than happy to give you the final results for tonight's race. There you see Liam O'Sullivan clinches the championship and wins the Triple Crown by 5 thousandths of a second over Bryce Saucier. Matthias Strauss comes home in third. And it's been a good finish to the season for Strauss. A couple podium finishes there, so he should be pretty happy to much momentum to go into season 16. John Seller, his best career finish here in the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship at fourth. Dufresne very quietly got up into the top 5 there at the end. In his best finish of the season, he finishes 5th, Vinci in 6th, Vogelzang in 7th, Fiolis at 8th, Dan Inch in 9th, and Nigel Stock in 10th. A lot of these drivers right here in the top 10, best finish of the season. Congratulations to everybody there. Moving on to the next page, we got Zambati, finishes 11th. James Watson, remember, he was one of the early cautions, and he recovers to finish 12th. Julien Altena, unfortunately, another season of, I don't want to say futility, just coming up a little short for Julien. He comes home in 13th and will finish more than likely second in the points. Miriani is in 14th. Clindy, unable to defend that championship won and earned a season ago, comes home in 15th, probably will finish third in the points. Katie Pollock, 16th. John Christensen, 17th. F. Tink, 18th. Seb Kinder, 19th. Pim Van Gastel, and 20th. Going out to the last page, we got Charpentier, Toby Deck, and Shane Coker all involved in early incidents, rounding out the remainder of this 23-car field. And I'm going to leave it up to you, Mr. Producer Man, as well, who you want to bring into the booth and what order. And we'll even give you a chance to talk to one of these fine podium folks. I would imagine we're talking to Liam last, regardless. So whoever you want to bring in first, let's bring them in to talk about their race here today.
Well, if Liam's last, I'll go back to front and I'll give you Matthias Strauss up in P3. There he is. And here he comes.
Here he is, Matthias Strauss. Hey, man. Great finish there. A difficult race. Everyone had a little something up there to prove. Fall to the back, some sort of hardship. And also a great way to finish the season. 2 podiums out of the last 3 races. Congratulations. A great way to end season 15 and look forward to season 16 on a high note. Talk about the slugfest here in Las Vegas, a championship bout under the bright lights of Sin City. And you brought it home in third. Only 0.3 of a second behind that battle for the lead.
Yeah, it's obviously great to be back on the podium with back-to-backs and feeling the rhythm is back. So that's good on high note to finish strong. So yeah, as you said, everyone had their ups and downs this race. I think Liam got caught out during one pit cycle. I been on pit entry. Yeah, Julien obviously got collected, and yeah, like you said, everyone have their up and downs, but yeah, it was good racing. It was fun.
Oh, you got any questions for him? It was a little something happened to everybody in this race.
Up and down throughout the field, all race long. How is that final run to the flag, though? Because that final last stint was quite interesting just because everybody was on full push, but it was very hard to get a pass done.
Yeah, definitely, because I was trying to line it up on the high side, but when John was behind me, he was too close for me to get a proper run around Saucier there, so it was definitely tricky, and it was super fun. Super fun that we could end on a green flag round there, even with the reputation of netcode. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
Well, Last chance for shout-outs this season, ending on one of the best notes possible. Just 2 consecutive strong races at the end of the season. You got to feel good going into the slightly shorter schedule season of 16. But you got to feel like you're hitting some good momentum. Shout-outs, friends, family, sponsors, anyone I want to say hi to before we let you go?
Obviously, Team Weston Racing for allowing me to race under the banner. My family, my friends here in Sweden. And of course, my teammates who raced today, that Seb, Brian, James, and of course the one who didn't race today, Silvati. So hopefully we can bring some good cars to next season as well.
All right. Well, congratulations on the podiums to finish this season and the podium here at Las Vegas. Might be worth hitting a slot machine here soon with that luck you got. Maybe you can strike a bit more of a bigger jackpot on something that pays with real money. But congratulations, and we'll see you when season 16 gets here.
Yep. Thank you, boys. Great job.
And we will throw him back up into the waiting room. Shall we bring down Bryce? And do you want to hit him with the first question?
Yeah, let's talk to Bryce. Bryce Sauce, yeah, you tried everything, I think, to win the drag race over the line. We saw you were able to do it quite a few times testing out, but on that last lap, it couldn't have been closer. How was that final battle?
It was real cool. I wanted to be a part of it. Glad to put on a good finish. I wish we were just a little bit faster to the line. I'd gotten a little loose at the start-finish line. Got taking the white flag, and I had to crack the throttle a little bit. I think it hurt the momentum. I just was a little bit too far back, I think, to get a really good charge at him like I wanted to, but got a lot closer than I thought I would. Making the move into 3, though.
Hey, Bryce, we were talking to Matthias about this as well, and we'll definitely talk about that, Liam about this as well. The theme of today, it just looked like it's Vegas, so gambles happen, and or bad luck finds everybody at some point at Vegas, and I think bad luck found everybody in this lineup at some point. You went through a little bad luck, but you were able to recover. And one thing led to another, and you're there fighting for the win, your best career finish. Talk about overcoming hardships and getting back and putting yourself in a position to possibly win this thing.
Yeah, I felt like most of the race I was kind of my own worst enemy. I spun out by myself twice in the tri-oval. I don't know what the car just didn't like the way it transitioned the paint on older tires, but seemed to have big issues with that today. But and then I ran in the back of Kyle, and I want to apologize to him. We kind of stacked on pit road, and I just wasn't ready for it. I was trying to close the gap on me. Yeah. Put a wing on it. I think I put a left rear tire guard on the car at some point in the race, too, from when I hit the cone, one of the cones. But I just never gave up, kept rallying. Knew I felt like I had a really good car, so I felt like if I could just get up front, I was going to be all right. If I would get out of my own way, I'd be okay.
Well, a lot of experience gained and earned. Best career finish here in the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship and your history here running. Any shout-outs, friends, family, sponsors, anyone you want to say hi to before we let you go?
First of all, my teammate, team owner, Nick Pressey. It was a little tough without a teammate out here. Everybody else seems to have a bunch of them, so he runs part-time, just runs the Indy 500, so it's nice. Appreciate the opportunity he's given me for a number of years now, but big thanks to him. Open Medicine Foundation. One of our teammates has a condition that they do a lot of research for, so like repping their colors for that. And I know I had a buddy of mine and my grandmother were watching the stream, so shout out to them too.
A good show, a good Vegas show. Congratulations on your best career finish, and we'll see you when we get to season 16. Hope to see you back.
Yeah, I'll be back. Love racing here. It's always a real tough challenge. The skill level is really high, so that was a blast.
Good to have you. We will see you in the next one. That is Bryce Saucier finishing in second. Well, Shall we get the cup polished off? The crown actually out of the box and polished off and presented to this guy. And the theme of the day, Liam, before we get into the interview, is Sin City comes back and bites everyone, and but eventually House doesn't always win. And the one and only green flag pit stop that I think we saw all day virtually was you. And as soon as you come to pit road and come off it, the caution falls. And at that point, I know mathematically it possibly you probably had the championship clinch, but you had to think, oh gosh, now it's going to be a lot closer, and this is just bad luck.
Yeah, I mean, there was so much going on in the race, and even I wasn't overly upset at that point because I knew I'd get back on the lead lap and fly back up there, but just even being back there with how much chaos was happening, I think there was at least 2 accidents where I just sort of had no business making it through, but made it through. And I mean, you saw who was left at the end. It was a proper demo derby. I didn't know we'd visited Gateway and Halloween instead or something, but it was, yeah, a crazy one. But I mean, I was come in here and got the Triple Crown as well, which I mean, the nice cherry on top. But yeah, good race from me. It's a shame Carl just tagged the apron. They would have liked to have a showdown with him there at the end, but Milan fought me hard at the end, and then I just knew when I sort of, if I could get into first and just hold the bottom, I think it was going to be really difficult for anyone. Saucier nearly caught me out on when to use the hybrid and nearly pipped me at the line, but I think I just had enough to hold on there.
Go ahead, Hallie.
I'm slightly lost for questions. I was hoping you'd be a little bit better prepared than me.
I can ask a follow-up.
I mean, keep going.
Now, I mean, we get into the second half of the race. Now attrition starts to take over. Unfortunately, it looks like a little netcode contact with Julien forces him to come to pit road and virtually retire. He did rejoin, but that pretty much locked up the championship. Once you saw the championship locked up, now mind focuses and mind changes to the Triple Crown. I don't know if you follow IndyCar history and know the Triple Crown history of IndyCar racing, but only one driver has only won the Triple Crown in all of IndyCar history, period. No driver has ever won the Triple Crown in Velocity Online Racing IndyCar history. Yeah, it's a Triple Crown with a asterisk because you were Stewart awarded the win at Auto Club, but you got the win regardless.
We don't need to talk about that one. Yeah.
But you still had to win the other 2, and you did. When you saw Julien finally get in the park, the pressure's kind of off. Did the focus then go to, okay, let's do this Triple Crown thing now?
Yeah, I mean, it was just, to be honest, as soon as the first caution came, I think it was mathematically impossible once I had led a lap in the race. That was the one point, because I needed 22nd or better, and there was 23 cars. So the 1 point would have, and then I would have won a tiebreaker, I think, on wins. So as soon as I led a lap, it was already like, yay, half celebrate. So I didn't have to adjust sort of my strategy towards how I approached this race. To be honest, it was probably the least stressed I've been going into a VRR race of any sort of capacity, because everything's sort of done, gloves are off, which, when are you in that position at any point this season? You're not really. So, no, I mean, the win at a track I'm historically not very good at. High banked, fast, 1.5 mile oval. This Atlanta, Chicagoland, not my favourites, don't like them. Came out with a good result and the win. So, really happy, and it's all full steam ahead for next season to back it up, which is going to be the difficult part, because I'm sure Kyle, Jesper, all these guys, Julien especially, are going to come back with a head of steam to not let me continue the way I have done this season. So I'm expecting a harder fight next year, especially with less races as well, because all less it takes tolerance. Is, like, I've had a lot of luck this season as well with my performances. I mean, you saw today, Carl ran into the back. I haven't had that this season. I've just had the luck of the draw, which, I mean, Carl had it last season, Julien had it one. It goes around, but we've got to remain consistent. I've done a good job of that this season. We've just got to let it follow.
This championship joins one that you have, an iconic series, a former DW12 series that was run here. You just recently got a championship in the Global IndyCar Championship. These are other leagues that kind of run in the, of course, the GIC kind of runs in the same circle as the VOR gang. Did it help having those two championships already on the resume, that you kind of knew what it had to take here in the final race to secure it? Did any of that help? Did you even not even bother thinking about it? Did the Triple Crown actually play any pressure into this race? Or it sounded like, but you did mention you came into this race pretty comfortable. What are there any extenuating circumstances that added to your angst at all this race? Or pretty much when you got into the cockpit virtually, it was just like, I just need to turn some laps here and bring the car home and just play safe.
Yeah, you just at least how I've approached this season is you cross them off. Like Richmond, that could be a potential for just all sorts to happen. Just as soon as I got through that, happy. Even start the season, round one, Fontana, you want to start well, but anything can happen. It came out with the best possible result. Indy, double points. Super terrifying to not think about the championship. So we navigated all of that, and it led to this, which on paper looks like now a comfortable win in the championship. But would have taken is one thing for me, with me and Julien just level pegging a lot, but me just having the edge on consistency throughout the season, giving it to me. But no, as you said, I think you summarised it quite well, that this was probably the least scariest race of them all. It's the build up to it, because I lost the season 12 championship here when I came in here with a 12-point lead, and I was not good enough at this racetrack to beat Jesper Orman, which is a difficult task in itself. I think I finished 5th that day, so had to put that right, had to get it across the line. And I think the work done earlier in the season, I think of Gateway, Kansas, Indy especially, and Richmond, which are tracks that I've been continuously improving back season on season over time, not just in this league, but as a whole, especially as predominantly a road racer when I first ever started IndyCar. All of that's culminated in me winning this championship. So super happy, want it again next season, and can't wait for the fight from the others.
Before I ask, throw it over to Howie if he has any follow-up questions for you. I've done, I don't know how many I did over on the old channel and how many I did with Scala total, but I think I'm in the neighborhood of 500-ish plus races I've streamed. Never called a Triple Crown win. I've called, a number of races where same driver has won the first leg, second leg, or two-thirds of the crown jewel. You would think that someone like, maybe Robert Malechka, maybe an Adam Blocker, maybe one of those guys, would win a Triple Crown in one of the leagues that I've called or one of the official races that I've called, and never. You are the first. And again, just showing you how rare, only one driver in the history of IndyCar, real IndyCar racing, a 100-plus year history of IndyCar racing, has won the Triple Crown. That was Alancer Sr. back in 1978. Often we see leagues declare what a Triple Crown is going to be, and virtually we never see this. This is a very rare feat, and it was a first for me. Have you thought about how rare of a feat this is, and anything? Does that sit with you? It just hasn't registered yet, or does that sit with you at all, of that, how rare of a feat that you just accomplished outside of just winning and clinching the championship?
I mean, yeah, it's not, as you said. I mean, was that the thing on my mind coming into this season of that? No, because you kind of think of that as some goal which is, I don't want to say unattainable, but with the amount of stuff in these longer races that goes on and how many people are good at these races. I mean, we half joked about it being a weird Triple Crown, but at the same time, they're 3 races that are anything can happen. And we've come through all 3 in first, which is crazy. I mean, I'd love to add up the margin of victory. I mean, I know Fontana was weird at the 3 of them, because I mean, Indy was close. This one was 5 thousandths, and the Fontana between me and Jesper was close. So I don't know what that is, but no, as you said, it takes luck and it takes the skill to do it, which I've had both. And no, it's something which, again, as you say, will settle in. But I don't really know what to say about it, because it wasn't on my mind. It was the secondary thing at all time. But no.
So it hasn't sunk in yet.
No,
nature
I
of the
mean,
feat, yeah.
I didn't think I'd be coming and discussing a Triple Crown either. So, coming into today, I thought a nice maybe 4th or 5th place to seal a championship. But at a track that I've never been good at. But no, the race played into my hands. People took themselves out, and it led to me, again, what I've done all season, which is just being consistent, being there at the end of every single race, apart from sprint rounds, to be there.
So here are your margins of victory, by the way, before I toss it over to Howie. Because of how Auto Club was reclassified, it shows you with a margin of victory of 0.139, so 1/10 of a second, which that's a pretty big margin in IndyCar, really. Yeah. Blink of an eye, it doesn't seem like that, but it's like a 1/10 of a second win over somebody. You're like, whoo, what a margin. It could have been closer, but that was pretty comfortable. Okay, so the next two, 32 thousandths at Indianapolis over Julien, and then 5 thousandths here a combined 37 thousandths of a second between here and Indianapolis was your margin of victory. So blink of an eye, and yes, and anything can happen, and you still had to win them. So congratulations, Howie. Any questions here for our champion and now Triple Crown winner?
I'm gonna both cop out of this and also help wrap up by asking for any shout outs to wrap up the season.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah, I've got a long list. I'll start with mum, dad, grandparents for watching as always every race. Which again, leading up to this, every season, we've been around a while now, and it's nice to get this one over the line. It feels like a championship that I should have already had in my pocket in a way. Still blame that Bell race in season 12 where there was a thunderstorm in the UK that cut my power to not win that one. But no, it's nice to get it over the line in this season. Again, Julien running such a great league, and he's done it for so long now, and the broadcasts have gone up and up every season, and that's down to you guys as well involved in that. I know how you've been behind the scenes the whole season producing, and have stepped into the booth this week, so Gary as well, long time around place. Sponsorship wise, hand in hand, they've been on my car for a while now. Mono Competition, TS Sim Shop, Alzheimer's Association, I think iCoaching, and I think I've mentioned everyone. All involved, all supporting me, and it's nice to have them on board and hope to continue having them on board. And yeah, roll on next season. I think it's a fair bit of a wait, but hopefully we can carry the momentum. A long race at St. Pete. We saw what happened in the sprint there, and to kick off the season with a longer race there, I think it's going to be really interesting. A lot of new guys, I think, with all the work Julian's doing behind the scenes with all this broadcasting, might be enticed into the league. So hopefully even more competitive than what we've had this season.
Well, we'll let you go celebrate with the fam. It is getting late where you are. Congratulations. Go celebrate. You'll have about 4 months to hold this one without having to show up for another race for a while. I'm sure we will see you at probably some fixed or open Indy 500s coming up here in May.
I'll see you Sunday for Votive.
All right. And we will see you in Votive. See if you can back up that win at Homestead, or back up the win here at the win at Homestead and Votive. But hey, man, congratulations. Go celebrate. Go rest up. You earned it. Not only your season 16 champion, but the first ever Triple Crown winner in the history of the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship. Congratulations. Get on out of here. Go celebrate.
Yeah. Thanks, guys, as always.
Howie, final thoughts. And before I toss it over to you for final thoughts, point situation at the end, they haven't updated. 82 points gives the margin of victory to Liam O'Sullivan over Julien Altena. Amon Lal does managed to finish third. Clendy, with his hardship in the race, cost him third place in the points. He will come in fourth. John Christensen, very quietly, did everything based upon consistency and just really finishing races. And not a great race for him here today, but enough to finish fifth in the championship. Hunter Ingravens in sixth. Matthias Strauss seventh. Fuelis 8th, Clegg in 9th, and Vince in 10th. Final thoughts for you here from Sin City and on this season as someone who's seen every single lap, whether you've been in the booth or whether you've been behind the board. I'm sure you got some final thoughts that you'd like to send us out on.
Been a long road. Some races clean, some very, very chaotic to the end, but it's been a joy to be here the whole time on the VOR channel this time around, and we are looking to bring you more later in the year on the other side of the Indy 500. Be there for more of the same. But what a field of drivers, what a competitive championship. Always surprises around the corner, and sometimes quite a few cautions.
I don't know what the final count was today. Let's see. Let me see if we can find that one. Then we'll get on out of here and give everyone
8 cautions.
8? Okay, not too bad. Not too bad. All right, well, that's going to wrap it up here for today. I need to get going here. I got some family I got to meet later today, and I know it's late where you are. So that's it today. Once again, your podium here for the third running of the VOR Las Vegas 400 from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Liam O'Sullivan with the Triple Crown win. Sauce's best career finish. Matthias Strauss back-to-back podiums. That is your top 3. And congratulations to our driver champion, Liam O'Sullivan, for winning his first series championship over Julien Altena, and Amon Lal finishes in 3rd in the championship. Join us again, and this is all tentative, of Saturday, August 1st, 2026, as we start this all over again for the opener of Season 16. We will be on the streets of St. Petersburg for the second running of the VOR Grand Prix of St. Petersburg. Coverage should start at approximately 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, that's 2:00 p.m. Eastern Time. That's on August 1st. Remember, as always, just stick to the channel for the correct time in your area. Find everything right here at youtube.com. Just search Velocity Online Racing. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game's not an easy one, so please help support us with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below. Let us know what you thought about today's race. And if you enjoyed it, support us by smashing like in the video. If you're new, click subscribe, and while you're at it, hit the bell for weekly reminders so don't miss out on more Velocity Online Racing's other iRacing coverage. They have a lot of it now, including Round 5 of the official 2026 iRacing Indy Next Series campaign from the streets of Long Beach, with coverage sponsored by iCoaching.co. Coverage starts at 3:05 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday, April 18th. If you like IndyCar racing, and we know you do, if you joined us today, then you will want to watch the latest crop of up-and-coming open-wheel drivers on iRacing as they do battle for the inaugural iRacing Indy Next Championship, and it's all right here on the Velocity Online Racing channel, so don't miss it. To learn more about Velocity Online Racing and what they do, visit us, velocityonlineracing.com. Like them on Facebook. You can follow them on X and Instagram. So not with us, but been with us all season, the great Justin Prince. It's always been my one of my pleasures to always work with him. It's been great to work with him this season. He's been with us. I want to thank him on everyone's behalf. Also, the suave sounding Jack James. Had him in the booth a couple times this season. He's been a good guy to work with. The General Howie Burrows, who does all the production, and I know from someone that does production is a thankless and crappy job sometimes, and he did it flawlessly. Congratulations for getting through that. And again, want to thank Howie for a great job, and everyone else here at Velocity Online Racing. I'm Gary Gossler saying all happy Saturday. Thanks for watching, and to all of our men and women serving in the military and as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Catch us again in St. Petersburg on August 1st. Tentatively scheduled for the next race of the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship. And congratulations once again to our Season 15 champion, Liam O'Sullivan. See you, everybody.